Crossover. Oh, killer crossover. Just crossover. It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Crossover is powered by Everlow Concrete Repair in Omaha. EverlowConcrete.com.
I have something to address.
Wow.
Address the allegations.
Okay. When I am a part of a Twitter poll, when my words become a part of a Twitter poll, I make sure to watch the Twitter poll segment, which is a great segment, by the way, that you guys do at the end of your shows.
Oh, the polls, what to watch?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to clarify something.
Oh, let's go back. Let's go back to yesterday.
Okay.
Let's see what he's talking about.
Because someone in particularly said Matt McMaster doesn't have his finger on the pulse. Okay.
I think that might have been me.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because have you ever thought of the 2006 Carolina Hurricanes?
85% said no, by the way.
Okay.
The poll has 20 minutes left. You can still vote no.
I did not claim that everybody thinks about the 2006 Carolina Hurricanes and that they're a common team in which people think about.
No.
Or that people should be thinking about the 06 Carolina Hurricanes.
Good. That would be silly.
Okay. Well, that's what
we just asked the question. We don't want to lead
but
people.
But you said I didn't have my finger on the pulse as if I was claiming that this poll would obviously be like 85-15 yes to no.
Here's the deal. I said I don't think anyone's ever thought about the 2006 Carolina Hurricanes. And then we asked the question. That's all.
Technically, you were wrong, though, because 15% of people have thought of the 2006 Carolina Hurricanes.
That's right. But the overwhelming majority is saying no.
I just want to clarify.
Let's refresh.
That I was.
Let's refresh.
We getting some late votes coming in from Miami-Dade County.
We didn't get that. We didn't get the Gary vote yet.
I know. I just did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I was the 85th vote.
Okay, good. Was it no or yes?
No.
Okay.
You clearly have.
Huh?
You clearly have before. There wasn't anyone on those Pittsburgh Penguins teams that played on the 2006. I mean, Stahl was a player on Pittsburgh before he went to Carolina.
Jimmy says that 15% are trolling. We always try to find the troll rate. And like you could ask, like, is air good to breathe? And
sure.
And like there'd be like 4% of people who said no.
So it's really 11% of people then. All right.
But it just depends on the question.
I just want to make it clear that I never said that a lot of people think about that team. Okay. I just feel like Matt not having his finger on the pulse is a damning statement for Mr. Odson.
I'm going to make a comparison here that probably will not be made on this radio station today. I went to Wendy's yesterday.
Great call.
I went to Arby's yesterday.
Same, buddy. Same.
Where'd you go?
I went to a indoor driving facility, and
all right.
Yeah, I made homemade food.
What's new at Wendy's?
Why did Wendy's become DEI?
What? Wait,
whoa!
Hang on! Hang on!
Whoa! Gary,
explain yourself.
Yeah, Gary,
hang on,
Gary.
Trump.
I like our show in the morning. I enjoy hosting
Hey.
with you. I don't know if this is
Why
self-sabotage
did
or not.
Wendy's turn the Frosty into DEI with all these different combinations? Okay,
You can get anything in a Frosty now.
why do we mess with the OG? I went there because I wanted a Frosty.
They're not forcing you to get.
There's a lot of options.
You could still get vanilla.
The chocolate Frosty is the OG and the only one that should be on the menu.
That's
at
ridiculous.
Wendy's.
A vanilla Frosty is good
Now
too.
I got all these different combinations.
Other flavors rising to prominence does not demote
There you go.
your preferred flavor.
Let's go look. Let's go look at the
Competition is great. Variety is great. But why screw with something that is the OG? And
I mean,
clearly it is the best of the best. The chocolate Frosty
because there's
at
more
Wendy's.
representation does not mean it's taking away from the value of the things that you like.
They have strawberry Pop-Tart.
So here's
the color combination.
They're trying to get into
Can I take your order? I'm like, I'm going to need about 20 minutes here. I just want a Frosty, but I got 17 different options.
They're trying to get into the Blizzard game, it looks like.
Yes.
So they got classic, you got your chocolate, and you got your vanilla. You got your Frosty Swirls, which you could get vanilla Frosties with either caramel or chocolate or strawberry. And then what you're probably seeing, Frosty fusions. We're
Yes.
upping your Frosty game with Pop-Tarts, Oreo brownie bits, and caramel crunch for a max flavor flex. You've never spooned like this. That's what Wendy's says.
Yeah, I'll take a black coffee,
I
please.
just want a chocolate Frosty. Where is it on the menu?
It's on, just say it. They'll give it to
they'll
you.
give it to
Yeah,
you.
just
Don't
say
make
it. No one is removing it.
No, because when I said it, they were like, "Do you want something with it?"
They are,
And I'm like,
they
"No,
are not,
that's the end of my order." And she's like, "No, do you want something
They-
with the
they-
Frosty?"
Nope,
th-
just
they
like I
are
want the
not. They're
Frosty.
not pulling a Jackie Robinson with the Frosties. Okay, like it is still there and present.
So I had a similar experience at the Arby's yesterday. I like to, I like to peruse. I like to see what they got, because Arby's, I think, has earned it at this point. They come out with new stuff, and I'm like, you know what?
They
Let's
do
go.
come out they come out with a lot more regular new stuff.
Yeah,
now.
like I mess with this, and so their bit right now is the briskets, the brisket sandwiches.
That's what I got. They're talking
I'm gonna
And
be
so-
honest with you. It looks awesome
And
on
so
a commercial.
I had to physically ask the drive-through thing. I was like, okay, so what are my brisket options? And she was like, well, we have the smokehouse brisket. It's number 14. I'm like, okay, 14. And then I found it. And then we have the brisket sandwich or something, which I did not see on the menu.
Yeah.
At which point I said, no, thank you on both. That will complete my order. I got a roast beef sandwich, mozzarella sticks,
I got the
and
quarter-pound
a couple
brisket
potato
yesterday.
cakes.
Isn't that
You
every?
did.
Isn't that?
Was it good? What's on there?
Oh, it's just brisket, and then they give you the sauce. You got to sauce it.
Oh, they give you the keys to be your own boss.
I feel like that's every Arby's experience. Like you peruse that menu just to get a classic beef sandwich,
that's
extra,
pretty much what I do every
extra
time.
Arby's sauce. Like but you like to see like, oh, look at this Mediterranean taco, also known as a gyro that they're selling. Like that's
call it a gyro though.
Yeah,
they call
that's-
it a gyro.
No, but I love that gyro.
Yeah, they call it a
Um,
gyro.
I look. This is kind of in your vein here, Gary. I'm calling for fast food restaurants to just stay in your lane. Okay, just stay in your lane. I don't need Wendy's.
What about Taco Bell French fries?
So, but they're doing chicken nuggets now. They're doing chicken nuggets.
I know.
Stay in your lane. All right.
What about
in your
pizza from Taco Bell?
Subway doing pizza.
What about
your
taco?
sandwich shop?
What about a taco from KFC?
No, absolutely not. You make chicken, you make tacos, you make sandwiches, you make burgers. Do your thing. All right. I don't need Kristaps Porzingis. I don't need I can't make.
I don't need Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, Josh clearly doesn't. I'll tell you what.
You can have.
I'm
him
not
if you
telling
want him.
Dikembe Mutombo to shoot 3-pointers. Okay.
I like the Taco
Food.
Bell French fries.
I don't. Something about him.
I like the
don't
Taco
I
Bell
have no
French
problem
fries.
with them doing French fries. I just have a problem with them doing chicken nuggets. There's nothing Mexican about chicken nuggets.
No, not at all.
There's zero.
Nor is there French fries. But
Sure.
I very much
But you
enjoy
can
them.
you can put all the different types of seasonings that you put on stuff, and you're
They
like,
just
all right,
wanna-
it's Mexican fries.
You don't have to order
that's
it, bro.
Mexican street food.
You don't got to order it.
No, but I feel like when they add things to the menu, it takes away from other things on the menu.
That's
That's
what
what
Gary's
Gary
point
says,
is.
yeah.
Exactly.
Mr.
That's what I'm saying.
Trump boys over here.
Stay in your lane.
Interesting. Sorry.
But like Gary, they're using the same ice cream. All right. They're just putting some chocolate bits. This is different. When you invest a lot in chicken nuggets, you take away from the type of taco meat you're getting.
I went to a hamburger place at 100 and
20th Pacific?
no.
Oh. I love Broncos.
Should I go to Broncos? I'm going to lunch today with someone. It's my pick.
Good Broncos. Sure. You might. I don't know. It's just a burger.
You go on one in Leavenworth. It's closer.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Go
Michael
you.
Severe
Go
will go
you.
to Broncos with you.
Typically, Severe has the option, so he hasn't texted me. So it might
But I walked in and it's a
That'll wait,
hamburger
Josh.
place and they have 6 options. 3 are regular, 3 are gluten free. That's it. I just want what you do well.
Okay.
Okay. I see. What
I mean,
you're saying.
that's you just want
But
a
I-
Chicago Shack.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
I
you
just
want.
Wendy's, you're struggling a little bit right now. Okay,
No, it's
all right.
not.
McDonald's introduces the chicken strips, and people are going crazy about the chicken strips.
Now, Wendy's
Hey,
is kind of
don't-
struggling right
No,
now.
Wendy's
they're
is struggling.
not.
Yeah,
They're
they-
not struggling
because they give you just focus on the basics.
Ever since they found that finger in that guy's chili.
what?
Oh, yeah. Did that happen here, or was that a national
See, here's
story?
my
That was a
thing.
national story.
Okay.
Here's my
I think
thing.
if it happened here, we would know.
Can I-
I don't know. I thought it happened at
Can I be honest?
Because you'd be
132nd
trying to figure
Maple.
out, do I know the guy?
Yeah.
Here's my thing, right? Why are you ordering the chili? at Wendy's. All right,
People do.
people-
I don't know
Oh,
why.
people
no,
do.
No, the
No.
chili at
Guys,
Wendy's does
guys,
come
guys,
recommended.
Just get a $5 biggie bag, upgrade, and make sure you get the bacon on the burger.
Great take.
And then, because the $4 is fine, but I think the $1 upgrade is definitely worth it. Get yourself a vanilla or chocolate frosty. Call it a day.
I like
Spicy
their,
chicken nuggets with the chipotle, the ghost pepper chipotle ranch.
I like
Just
their,
keep it simple, stupid.
I like their chicken sandwiches.
Nothing more simple than a ghost pepper ranch.
You can sub out. You you can
Keep it simple. Ghost pepper ranch with the spicy chicken. and add fries. Subtract. Yeah. Keep it simple. I get it. I know what you're saying. That makes sense. Here
I was with you until
I
that.
hate this show.
all right. Here's Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Yeah,
Here's
great take, Matt. Great take. And
So-
then I'll insult you.
The Taco Bell chicken nuggets, apparently they are coating their chicken nuggets in tortilla chips, which makes them Mexican.
No, it doesn't. It does not.
Yeah.
As someone,
That's what they're saying.
as someone who grew up
That's what
in
they're
that
saying.
area, just because you just put tortilla chips on something does not make it Mexican.
You grew up in what area? The
In-
area of Taco
He's
Bell?
Latin.
I'm Cuban, and we owned like 5 Mexican restaurants.
You don't have to say that. Of course, everyone knows that it's not Mexican putting tortilla chips on chicken strip, on chicken nuggets. Of course. We all know this.
You
Him and-
just read an email.
Him and Cody Rhodes are the two most prominent Latin men we have in this country.
He's African American.
Stibbs writes in. Now, is this true? They have
Stibbs.
a chicken cordon bleu at Wendy's. Is
At
this-
Arby's.
Oh, at Arby's.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got a Reuben. Did you ever get the Reuben at Arby's?
I did not get the Reuben because I live in Omaha.
That's right.
See, great take.
Yeah.
No, great take.
That's yeah. They're not going to probably sell very well here. Would be my guess. But you got to keep it on the menu.
Is it still
Just
on the
in
menu?
case. I think so. I think it's out there. Okay, I'm interested in this chicken cordon bleu situation.
It's very good at Arby's.
Is there like
Get the chicken pesto.
is there like a Portillo's equivalent to Reuben's in Omaha?
like
So
what
like
do you
hot
mean?
dogs. So Portillo's Chicago hot dogs is like,
Mhm.
Portillo's is like the fast food quality Chicago hot dog place where it's not like out of a traditional like Chicago spot, but it's fast food good enough where you could have that dog. Is there something like that with the Reuben?
Nope. We don't have any. We don't have any fast food Reubens.
No.
Like you have to
no.
go to like a mom and pop.
Like the
or like a
the
regular-
closest comp to Portillo's that we have is Runza.
Yeah.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
But
No, that's what I'm. It's the same category of thing.
It's a regional.
Oh, sure.
Fast
sure.
food.
that
Okay,
makes
in
a
that
specialty
regard.
item.
In that regard.
Yes. Yeah.
I
look
agree.
for-
No, I agree with that. I was just wondering. I didn't know if there was like a specific, well, you got to go here for the Reuben.
Jeff writes in,
Hi,
low
Jeff.
key strawberry Pop-Tart Frosty sounds amazing.
Whoa, careful.
Gary's triggered about this. Gary's got to keep his mouth shut. He's about to say something
I
crazy.
mean, I probably will eventually try that, but
Mm.
I just want to see my chocolate. Okay, the chocolate was being
just
moved
wanna
away
see
from the
my
prime
chocolate.
spot on the menu.
Hot take alert.
Yeah.
Hot take alert.
yeah.
I
Okay.
just want to see my chocolate.
I think I have to.
Okay, I mean,
I like that. I like that. I like that. Keep going. Keep
It's
going.
that or
to
the
live
other
by.
thing you said. One of them's going to be a graphic.
how was that not? I mean, just keep it simple. You know what? The winners, keep it going. Why do you got to start mixing in stuff and just
Mhm,
confusing people?
mhm.
But you don't have to. That's the point.
Yes.
You don't have to
Yeah,
do it.
they're not forcing you to do it.
Yeah.
If it's the best, keep it.
Now,
They
they
don't
do
need to add to it.
I will say this to your point. They get a little pushy sometimes. Are you
So-
sure you don't want to try
it-
the
it
Pop-Tart
is-
mix-in Frosty?
I'll tell you.
It's
what
a
I
little
want.
bit like when you check out at a place and you're like, are you sure you don't want a rewards card? Are
Yeah.
you sure you don't want a rewards card? Like, I'm sure.
They do get a little pushy.
I love that at Casey's, they ask me every single time, do you have Casey's rewards? And I tell them no. And that is the end of the conversation.
yeah, they
Yeah,
don't push
They
that.
don't,
don't
no,
care.
but I got
Okay.
I got annoyed though because I did want a Casey's card and I felt like I had to push.
Oh, I have no idea how to get Casey's rewards.
neither
I have
do
no,
I.
I have
no,
no clue.
I tried.
It-
I literally go, can I sign up for it?
So this needs to be investigated because there's a Casey's by my house, which I'll stop to get gas, and so I'll run in and get beer or something like that.
Yeah.
And they always go, "Do you have Casey's reward?" And I said, "Yes." So you put in your phone number, but I never get a discount like at Hy-Vee or anything. Or you don't.
I don't know what
Do
it
you
does.
do you get
either.
an email?
No, nothing.
No,
You just put in the number. I may have a lot of Casey's
Wait a minute,
rewards.
wait a
Where
minute.
are they?
No, you have to confirm your registration. Like there's a
No.
website. There
No.
there
Now
has to be.
you signed up, and all now is, are you a Casey's reward member? Yes. So you put in your phone number, and then it shows you what your total is, but it never gives you a discount. Like you go to Walgreens, and they say, are you a Walgreens member? So you punch in the number, and then at least you can see, like,
Yeah.
It took a
You
couple
get
bucks
points.
off.
You got points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say this. Target, I've spent thousands of dollars at this point, okay, at Target for my move or whatever. And I've gotten, like, I have the Target Rewards app. I don't know what it costs to get discounts from Target. Don't know.
you got to
Okay.
be in the circle.
I am in the circle.
So here's what happens with your Casey's rewards.
Yeah, everyone is calling us idiots for not knowing how Casey's rewards works.
Well, I
which
tried
is
to sign up
completely
for it,
fair.
and they wouldn't let me sign up for it. They were
like there's got to be
Casey's.
an app.
There's an app you
Yeah.
download and register
There's
through
got-
there.
Like I said, there's got to be an app. But here's
So
the,
will my rewards that I have not seen beyond that
Yes.
app, you think?
they'll
Okay.
all be on
All right.
there. They'll all be on there.
You want to?
they'll
They'll
bomb you with like 50 free pizzas.
This is a fun game. Download the app, and let's try and guess how many points it have.
Well, here's the math on it. Spend $1, get 10 points.
Okay. Oh, we're gonna find out how many dollars you've spent.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of points.
How many
I've
years?
had it for a while.
How
though.
many years? How many years have you had Casey's Reward, Gary?
Yeah, they're not. They're
probably
not going to discount your beer.
2 or 3 years.
New
Okay.
members get 10 cents off a gallon with their first fuel purchase up to
Hello.
20 gallons. You got Casey's
So you get $2.
Casey's Cash. You got free pizza
pizza?
faster.
Yeah.
Earn double points
Okay.
on all whole pizzas and redeem those for Casey's Cash to pay for the next one.
Are you
Down.
often getting a whole pizza at Casey's?
No.
In small towns, that
Oh,
is
yeah.
a thing.
Yeah.
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 You can order full pizzas on Casey's on DoorDash.
You could order full
Mhm.
Casey's pizzas, but like that doesn't happen very much here.
I'm more of a
It happens
Casey's
a lot.
slice guy.
Well, you got to get the 2 for $5.
2 slices for $5.
Yeah.
I have never known
It's a good deal.
how much a slice of Casey's pizza has
So
cost.
I think it's $3.30. I think it's $3.30 for one, and then you get for 2 you get 5.
If I
It's
want the
5.
pizza, I get the pizza.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you for finally seeing the world my way.
It's what do you mean?
I don't look at prices of stuff. I just buy it.
I mean, I definitely.
I'm
do.
that way at
Yeah.
the gas station
Yeah. If I want it, I'm gonna get. If I want the
because
box of Sour Patch Kids, I have no idea how
nothing
much.
at
But
the
like at
gas
the grocery
station is.
store, you're not.
I have no idea how much anything costs.
I'll look at the
But-
grocery store, but at the gas station, like nothing is like more than $5 or whatever. So
Right.
it's not money.
Yeah.
It's not real money.
I mean, this
Casey's
is
points.
guys. This is girl math. It is real money, and if buying an extra pizza has some value there,
It's not real money. It's on my card. Where's my
Mhm.
money?
it's real money.
I have no idea how much money I have.
You don't-
Do I have any money?
I know the exact number of money I have right now, and every time I make a purchase, I go back to my bank account and I check how much I have.
Wow. I have no earthly idea.
I'll
Maybe-
I'll
maybe-
look.
I would
A couple
love.
days
I would
before
love
payday?
to live
Let's
as
see.
lavish as you do.
I don't have that much money.
Yeah.
But
How do you live?
I know
like
that I
this
have
then?
enough money.
How do you live?
I have enough money to live.
Mhm.
That's it. Let's see.
The stress of your
And I
bank
got that- I
account
got a
going
good amount
down
of
by
money.
each purchase
I got-
doesn't like make you have you live a little bit more.
I got a couple bucks right now.
If I'm out of money in the bank account, I have a credit card. If I'm out of
That
money
is-
on there, I've got
God,
$200
I
in the FanDuel
I-
account.
I-
I was like,
Just take it out of
Just-
wherever account
yeah,
you need to.
I hope Dave Ramsey is.
I'm just
listening to
moving
this
monies.
right now.
Dave Ramsey
Okay?
is an idiot.
I got
No, he's not. Dave Ramsey is a very smart man.
I got stocks.
Gary,
I
is
got
Dave
bonds.
Ramsey an idiot?
Well, he did have this thing about Bitcoin
Is Dave
a while
Ramsey
back.
an idiot?
It's a-
Whole
you
question.
gotta make sure.
He's
that
talking
you
about
can't-
putting. He's like, don't spend any money,
Oh.
become a recluse, and do not go outside until you
If
pay
you don't
all
have
your
gold
bills.
bars buried in your
Yeah,
backyard,
my-
you're an
My
idiot.
favorite Dave Ramsey is, oh, we're gonna cut you down to size. I mean,
Yeah.
you are not gonna be living at all.
Guess what? Debt is a part of life, not death. Debt.
I'm in a lot of debt.
Well, get some more debt and live.
All mine
Live,
is.
damn it.
Yeah,
I
live.
don't know if you know this thing called student loans.
Oh,
but
I'm familiar. I'm
I am-
familiar.
Oof. That and NFM both are.
Don't even worry
they're
about
both-
paying them off.
both
Who knows
napping
if
at
we
me.
have to?
I got one side is Nelnet, the other side's NFM.
You'll be all right.
Just biting at my head.
I do not just buy alcohol at Casey's. There are other stuff. But now,
You sign up for the app?
I love how
well,
you-
because
you
I
had
don't know
to
what the
address
password
that.
is, so I said, "Can you send me the,
Yeah, you got to make a password.
Yeah. It hasn't sent me the email.
Well, you'll get there. Maybe it
Yeah,
went
check
to
your
your
spam.
I check my spam.
All right, maybe check it
Okay,
again.
that's fine.
Poll question up at Happer Show: is Dave Ramsey an idiot? I'm voting yes.
Honestly, the trend of this now is that Dave Ramsey is
Great
probably
take.
going to follow one of us. I mean, it happened with Woody Page.
It happened with,
I'd love
It
to
happened
talk
with Gronk,
that
baby
fat
Gronk.
kid. Yeah.
I'd love to talk shop with Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey is over on 1290.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
He's gonna show over
periodically
there?
during an Omaha broadcast, it'll be a lead-in.
Hey,
Actually,
I'm Dave
it will
Ramsey.
be.
This
It's
is
happened-
Omaha
happened before.
basketball. Really?
And how much debt do you have? I have $172,000. Oh Lord, honey, that's
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Yeah. Don't
And-
have that
and-
much debt.
During this
and-
financial conversation, many people asking where Matt goes every day after the show
Interesting.
and whether or not that plays into his debt, no debt.
I first off have debt from student loans. Secondly, I don't know if you guys have been listening to the show, but I have not gambled in. When was the Kentucky Derby?
Whoa.
Last weekend.
Two
First
weeks
Saturday
ago.
in May.
Okay.
I have not gambled in 13 days.
Wow.
That's not that good.
No, that's great. You're doing great. Progress, not perfection.
Can I tell you
I
why?
don't care whether you gamble or not. Just live, baby. LIVIN. Live it.
Have got someone to look up to, someone to look forward to, something to chase. I chased my DraftKings bank account. Just keep living, baby.
Look at that.
And how much of that have you inherited? That's
Yeah.
his first question.
There's always so many questions. It's like, all right, enough with the interrogation, Dave. What about you? How are you?
You got to buy your house with cash.
Do you think Dave is?
That's his biggest. Everything's got to be bought with cash with Dave Ramsey. He's like, yeah, don't do a 30-year
I know.
mortgage.
Nobody
Buy it
has
with
it.
cash.
You don't have enough money to buy.
You don't
that
have
crap.
$630,000 laying around.
So, do you think Dave is taking his own advice? You think he's getting high on his own supply?
I would hope so.
I
mean,
hope
don't-
Dave Ramsey's rich.
What do you suppose his net worth is?
can't be much.
It's easy for Dave to tell me to save up.
His estimated net worth in 2018 was $55 million.
Pretty good.
Jesus.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Lord.
So he has cash to buy everything.
Yeah, no wonder.
Yeah. He tells everybody he just tells everybody to buy stuff.
How
with
funny
cash.
would it
He's
be
got
if his net worth was like 600,000? Or it's
Be
it was just
awesome.
like,
Wait a minute. I'm taking advice from this guy?
He's like, yeah,
That would
I wrote a book, but I had to get a loan for it.
That would be like the doctor that is really out of shape
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
obese telling you what to do.
That'd be like me telling Matt Rule, hey, I think you should run this play.
No.
Brian says he has a
Right.
coworker has over $350 in Casey's cash.
Whoa.
So he's got
He's got a lot of pizzas.
$35,000 in points.
So it holds for a while.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't expire all that quickly.
What would $350 buy you at Casey's?
You can get whatever you want. You get a lot of boxes of
Shoot.
Skittles.
Buy pizza
Is
for
that,
everybody.
is that your go-to gas station snack?
It's
Hey,
a good one.
you
You
are
can get a lot
Sour
of
Patch
the
Kids.
hey, you can get a lot
Cheddar
of the
cheese
mini
Ruffles.
bottles right there at the checkout.
Exactly. You get the shooters.
Well, the big shooters are 2 for $5. The little shooters are $1.19.
Can you redeem points at the slot machines?
Oh, I
Oh,
bet.
I don't play those slots.
They're in there.
They're in there. And
Yeah.
it seems like the same guy every time is at 60th.
Yeah, they're
Definitely.
busy.
Hey, you know
Yeah.
he got one bonus and he's giving it all back.
So I have a take.
Didn't you see somebody win?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What,
yeah.
Vegas Matt was there?
They're like those machines are getting usage.
Are they loose though?
I don't know if they're
That's a really weird way.
I don't know if they're
of
getting
describing
any,
a machine.
winners, but I walked in there one time and this person was like, pulled out the slip or whatever and took it up to the cash register and they're like, yeah, here you go. And they gave him $100. Or
I don't
whatever.
know how I would take it being seen at a Casey's playing the Vegas style games there. Right when you walk in, you're just chilling.
Hey,
It's
how
good
that
time
slot
wasting.
machine
They
go?
don't have a drink holder, so
Maybe-
I would be out.
So they have them at that at that gas station. I think it's a Mega Saver on Abbott Drive
Yes.
going to the airport. Like, what if you needed to burn a couple minutes, before going to the airport? The prices become really expensive at the airport. You know, soon enough we're going to be buying runs at the airport for $14.50.
Oh, that's right.
How'd you do at the slot machine? Wasn't loose enough.
Some dragon fries at Block 16 for $23.
At least. At least.
Is everything better looser?
Whole question.
In this, I mean, the machine.
This could be like an epic day of attracting not usual people to the poll questions.
People might be wondering.
You got to check out what this show's doing.
And then you got to go, you got to listen to the show. You don't get the show.
They figured it out.
So, what were they talking about?
That's always the question. I got one for you. So on these reward point systems,
Sure.
what's up with the places that only will get, and I know it's all the same like ratio, you know, you're getting to the same place eventually. But like, for example, here's what I'm thinking of. Casey's is giving you 10 points for every dollar. That's amazing. By the end, you're going to have $1,000 or 1,000 points. That just seems really cool. At Jersey Mike's, the Shore points, you have to spend hundreds of dollars just to get a point.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's like I go up to the register and they're like, "You have 1 Shore point. Would you like to buy 8 sandwiches?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so."
Let it ride, baby.
Why don't you give me more points? I want more points.
I'm going to tell you something right now. The Chick-fil-A point system is like as hard as the casino point system. All right. Like you gotta get like spend thousands of dollars at a casino to get like those nicer cards to get a lot of points.
Yeah.
Same thing at Chick-fil-A. Like
you could be Pearl level Chick-fil-A.
my buddy was bragging like he was a gold member. And like he was the only person he knew that was a gold member at Chick-fil-A.
Whoa. I didn't know that there was
And he went to
tiers.
like Chick-fil-A like 3-4 times a week. And that's how he became like a gold member at Chick-fil-A.
I did not know that there was tiers.
There's tiers or at least there used to be.
What are the Chick-fil-A membership tiers? Chick-fil-A 1 has 4 membership tiers. Chick-fil-A 1 member, Chick-fil-A 1 silver, red, signature.
Yeah.
To learn more about the benefits of each tier, visit our Chick-fil-A.
They've made
I would like to know more about the benefits of each tier.
They've made Chick-fil-A a chicken casino.
Okay.
That's awesome.
At the base level, $1 equals 10 points. Silver, $1 equals 11 points. Red, $1 equals 12 points. And with the red membership, that's the next to highest. You can take a free Chick-fil-A backstage tour with up to 5 guests at the Chick-fil-A home office.
What the hell?
Signature membership starting at 10,000 points. $1 equals 13 points. You get the backstage tour and exclusive rewards. It does not say what those exclusive rewards are.
Holy smokes.
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. And they don't even ask you anymore at Chick-fil-A, like, would you like to become a member? Because they have so many people who are members who are like invested in like trying to build up to that.
Yeah, all you have to do to be a member is get the app, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I
assume
there's no
they
other
asked
way
you.
to.
That's
Dummy.
why at the
I'm
end
a
of the
dummy.
day, Hy-Vee has the best system,
See, I got
which also is attached to Casey's when you get gas.
I
you
love
can-
the fuel points.
I
love
spent a
the
lot
fuel
of money
points.
at Hy-Vee, and I've wasted points. I've wasted potential points.
That's bad.
McDonald's has a really good reward system, though.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, they don't care.
I don't know.
Here, have some fries. Here.
they don't care.
Have some nuggets to shut your kid up.
It's like, oh, did we give you slightly the wrong thing? Take all of that food plus some.
Oh my God, you haven't been on the app in 3 years? Doesn't matter. Here's 17,000 points.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Thank you, McDonald's.
I don't know the math on the McDonald's points though. Like I just,
You know what?
I
It's
just get
good.
737 points because I bought a sandwich.
That's good. I'm not going to ask McDonald's any questions.
Don't ask.
I like their style.
They got
When you're
it
going
working.
through- when you're going through the drive-through, you go, "Can you explain it to me? How does this all work?"
No.
Mr. Taylor Swift fan over there.
Oh,
Yes,
it's
sir.
you, Josh.
We had a tweet this morning.
I've seen a tweet from a person.
Wow.
It was a truth post.
Oh, Josh showed me this. Yes.
Hello.
Read it, because you're the Trump guy today. I guess.
Has anyone noticed that since I said I hate Taylor Swift, she's no longer hot?
No, but read.
Has anyone noticed?
the quotation marks?
Oh, quote, I hate Taylor Swift. She's no longer, quotation marks, hot.
Hot physically or hot like she's popular? Is he using business lingo or frat
I don't know
lingo?
if 87 will be going back to the White House in February when the rest of his teammates do.
My fellow Americans.
But
That's
it
a
is,
conversation they would have to have.
yes. Like, what if Travis goes, I really want to go?
I think that the whole team's going, honey. I gotta go.
But he called me ugly, Travis.
It's him or me. What? That's not a thing.
We were on a break.
You're retired. You don't have to go with the team anymore, honey.
I really want to. Patrick is my friend.
His wife is excited.
Yeah. They're really fired up about going.
What is it's the Spun. So your favorite website, because I hear you talk about it, that always comments on where like celebrity sports people stand politically.
Oh, really? That
Yes.
sounds fun.
Ooh.
There
Where
was
does
one the other
Saquon
day.
stand
There was
nowadays?
another way.
I think we know.
Where does Jim Nantz stand politically and why he won't back down?
I can guess.
I was like,
let me take a wild guess.
We can
Man
guess.
has, man has a
most.
golf hole island at his house.
He makes wine. We can guess. We can guess.
I feel like we could be a pretty high hit rate here.
I just want to see if there's replies to that tweet. Because you can't. The president cannot shut off his tweets.
What did Clay
right?
quote tweeted as?
Is this what's happening on the Blue Ski that people keep telling me to go to? Is this on that, Josh? What platform is this on?
I believe it's Truth Social.
Yeah, I don't follow
I'm not going
social.
there. I'm not going anywhere else, by the way. By the way, Chris, before we let you guys go, writes in, I'm sorry, but I can't take celebrity news from Gary seriously anymore after he said the Hawk Tua podcast was good. Which is
you got to admit. Okay, so
Is she cranking out new episodes of that anymore?
she's
back,
kind
though.
of back.
She's
yeah.
back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Isn't she a felon?
Yeah, but she's back.
She's back.
And so's Martha
Okay.
Stewart.
She's like, oh,
So it kind of it started to go downhill when she included her boyfriend.
Pookie?
she's
Yes. So she outed Pookie on the podcast,
Oh.
and then the content wasn't as strong.
Sure, sure.
But before that, there was some solid conversation.
Was there a lot of glazing?
This is ridiculous.
She hasn't come back to the podcast, so I'm on Call Her Daddy.
Oh God. No, you're
No, I know.
don't
I
talk
just-
to me about this.
I just see clips on
What do you
TikTok.
about
I've never.
the Gluck Gluck?
All right. That's the crossover, everybody.
Thank you,
it's
Connor.
powered by Every Level Concrete Repair in Omaha. Sorry, everylevelconcrete.com. Please go there. They're great. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Friday on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone, and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you. How we doing, everybody?
Hello, hello.
Good. Hopefully we didn't get canceled, or nobody got canceled during that crossover.
No. Full context. Everything's fine.
Oh, of course. Full context. That's what we need. Brian follows up on Taco Bell. Poll question, does adding tortilla chips automatically make a food dish Mexican? Let's not do that poll question.
Okay.
But I don't think so. I understand what they're going for, but in real life, no. I don't think so.
Everyone's a little bit nervous here.
Theo is wondering on YouTube.
Oh, what is Theo wondering?
How will us spin the Huskers baseball W? Popcorn emoji.
How will we spin it, Connor?
There's no spin. I'm happy. Nebraska should be in the Big Ten baseball tournament.
Imagine if they weren't.
Unfortunately, we've had that come to life more often than just the one time. But, that was not good. But they were able to get it done yesterday, and I think everybody figured out the math to where they are in the Big Ten baseball tournament starting next week, which will be very, very exciting for many.
Incredible.
It's gonna be quite something. I'm really looking forward to Pool B.
Oh yeah, is that your pool of choice?
Love Pool B. Love what's going on in Pool B. Maybe some watch out for Pool D too. You never really know.
Wow, sleeper pool.
Yeah, it's a good pool. But welcome to the show, everybody. Friday we will talk with our friends Brian Christopherson, Steve Sipple. Today, the old Journal Star crew, which is split off to the internet now. BC and Sip. They will join us today. No Munson. He is at his son's graduation from college.
That does seem more important than talking to us.
And guess what, Josh? He sent me a text a few minutes ago and said, hey, saw your tweet.
Oh, no.
Just wanted to remind you that I'm definitely not doing the show today. And I said, I know.
I gotta tell him.
I know.
I gotta tell him.
I know.
This one's on me.
I know. No, I already threw you under the bus.
Okay.
It's okay. I told him. I said Josh puts it up out of habit. We got you.
Okay.
We got you.
Okay.
That's why I say I don't want to scare any of our guests into thinking that they're going to be on the show today. If they're not going to be on the show.
Could I look at the prep sheet for the day and it'll tell me everything I need to know? It's there.
It's an option. It's an option. So that's our lineup powered by the Rivalries at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'd love to hear from you guys. 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Zone Casino hotline. You can call or text that number, and you can go to our website right now and register to win a $100 gift card, which we'll be giving away each week to Prairie Flower Casino, 1620thezone.com. You can email Connor Josh O at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank inbox, tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. And we say good morning to the YouTube streamers. How we doing, everybody?
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. Stibbs writes in.
Hi, Stibbs.
Wait, Nebraska won that game? Yes, they did. They were down 8-0 and won. That's all I know.
That's all you need to know. What else is there? Got down by 8 runs in the first few innings and powered right on through that thing.
And they're in the Big Ten baseball tournament now.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, yesterday was a day for Nebraska baseball in which they chose to wear their horrendous uniforms.
It's too dark.
They need to stop doing this. What have they done? Seriously, we all hold Nebraska baseball in a high regard because if you're a person of my age, you remember 2005, and you remember 2001, and you remember 2002, and
I
you're
always
like, oh my god,
2001.
I love Nebraska baseball. This is so much fun. But they had jerseys that were normal and good, and now they don't. What did they do to themselves? I even saw a video from our friends from No Block, No Rock tweeted out a video yesterday after they clinched going to the Big Ten tournament. And they're like, we're going back to Omaha or whatever. And it was the video from last year where Gabe Swanson hit the winning double in the 9th inning in the championship game against Penn State. It was great. And they had a skinny N on their hats. And I'm like, what happened to that? Now they have this gigantic block N, and their jerseys are slate gray, and they're wearing like black socks and what are they doing? Bring Trev back.
Trev was right.
Bring Trev back, and he can fix all of this and tell them what uniforms to wear. Please. Speaking of Trev, there will be a story today that doesn't really involve Trev, but it is now Trev's situation regarding how much athletic departments are paying right now for coaches that aren't there.
Oh,
yeah. Trev didn't do this, but Texas A&M is they're currently paying Jimbo Fisher a lot of money for not coaching there. Elsewhere in college baseball, Creighton baseball played with a little bit of fire. But they did win, and the magic number goes from 3 to 2.
Well, I don't have a 2 drop. I mean, might be something in there.
Here comes 2.
That's right. Yeah,
pretty good. Okay. That's why we have a top 5, I guess. So 3 down to 2, and there's NCAA tournament softball today. Can you believe it? Now I've been told that there is a squeeze play adjacent softball deal that's going on today.
I would assume so.
I'll have to check that out.
I don't know any specifics about it.
I was watching the NBA last night. We will have a game 7.
Yeah, you were.
Between the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then I realized, I love the broadcasters on ESPN, but all the other stuff is horrendous. So immediately after the game, they go to a couple Sports Center hosts that I had never heard of. And then they brought in Kendrick Perkins for at least a half hour to talk about his immediate reaction to the game. Somebody must have been getting in that poor Sports Center host's ear saying, you have to keep Perk here for like 15 more minutes.
No one's ready.
It was horrible. Basketball on ESPN is very bad. Or I guess the ancillary programs surrounding the NBA on ESPN is very bad right now. The Bears are in shambles this morning after some excerpts from a book came out.
Caleb, you better win 10 games.
Jet Tamala gets an Alabama offer. That's Millard South quarterback getting an Alabama offer. Josh, what's up with that?
Mailed it to the wrong house?
No, it's real. He deserves it. It's rivalry weekend in Major League Baseball. So that's cool.
Finally.
That means somebody's going to get a nonsensical game. We'll find out who has the most nonsensical rivalry game coming up today on the show. Why did Lincoln Riley make so much money last year? We'll find out. And the spirit of NIL still lives in college baseball. All of that to come today on the Connor Happer Show. Thanks for being with us. Once again, BC and Sipple are going to join. We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back. It's Friday here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Venmo Chris writes in.
Hi, Venmo Chris.
Connor, what the bleep is up with the refs in the Nuggets game?
Whoa.
So many fouls when guys weren't even touched. Well, when you have the foul merchant on your team, you're going to tend to get a couple calls, I guess. That guy loves drawing fouls.
He does.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
SGA.
Yeah, there was a couple of those situations last night. And then I heard Thunder fans complaining about the refs as well. The Thunder lost the game because they could not take enough advantage of the minutes in which Russell Westbrook was playing for the Denver Nuggets. Holy God. So that series is going to a game 7. And really the question the question that this all hinges upon is, will Russell Westbrook tank the Nuggets, or will he do something completely superhuman and ridiculous and propel them to a road game 7 win against his former team? It's a total wild card. I have no idea which direction it's going to go. I lean toward bad.
Yeah, you thought it was going to go bad last night.
I did think it was going to go bad last night. And it to my credit, it went pretty bad for him.
Yes.
It went pretty bad for him. But it didn't go so bad for the Nuggets because the Thunder didn't really take advantage of the minutes where he was out on the floor. Any moment, it's like do not put it on the internet that I'm doing this. I'm not comparing Nikola Jokic to Ryan Kalkbrenner. I'm not doing that. Don't put it on the internet that I'm doing that. But it's kind of like when Creighton would take Ryan Kalkbrenner out of the game and then the other team would, go on a 6-0 run in like 14 seconds. And you're like, oh,
well,
God.
I need that stopper back.
Ryan, get back in there. And then here he comes, lumbering his way down the bench and getting to the table and everything. That's what happens when Nikola Jokic isn't in the game. And Denver has to keep him out for like 2 or 3 minutes at a time, and then he goes back out there and he lumbers around and he dominates everybody. And so if you're Oklahoma City, you have to take advantage of the minutes when A, Nikola Jokic isn't out there, and B, Russell Westbrook is in the game. And if you're Denver, hopefully you can not be a disaster in those moments. And Julian Strother going off last night really helps.
The broadcaster even said at one point,
Julian Strother
game.
It's the Julian Strother game. What in the hell happened? So
this was all during, they sat Jokic to start the fourth, and everyone was like, okay, you got to do it now. You got to do it now. You got about 2 minutes, and then they bought it like he sat for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Put the game out of reach.
So we got, and Black Cat writes in, Trey Alexander, hype man of the night. Yeah. Trey got some TV time because he was seated right next to the big man last night. Did you see that?
I didn't, but I was not.
When Jokic,
I had the game on, but I was not looking at it and
when
watching.
Jokic went to the bench, he sat right down next to young Trey. Wow. Young, tricky Trey.
Wow. And
Trey was just giving him his classic boyish smile, saying, great job, Joker. You could do it.
You did it, man.
You're the MVP. You got this. Yeah, I think Trey wins hype man of the night. And it's the Julian Strother game. So we get one game 7 in the NBA, which is exciting. I like the random Sports Center anchor that I'd never, that I've seen, but I don't know his name.
That's right.
Was interviewing Jokic after the game, and they were like, hey, what's it going to take for you guys to get over the hump in game 7? Oh, I don't know. I just play hard, play good, and can I go now?
I go.
Yes, go. Please go. Yeah. He always just looks so exhausted and exasperated.
Well,
he is,
and he's always
a large man.
He's always bleeding from the arms.
I love that man. I really, really love Nikola Jokic, and I don't know. I mean, what's the public rooting for in a game 7 between the Nuggets and the Thunder? Is the public rooting for OKC to get it done?
Wow.
They've been the best team in the NBA, but they're meeting this challenge here. Or are they rooting for, if we're still in the LeBron era, like we were also in like the sub LeBron Jokic era, you know what I mean? So like Jokic winning another, going to get a chance to win another championship is really, really intriguing. And I tell you what, the path is clear. It's clearer, I should say, if they get past OKC in Game 7. What do you think America's rooting for in that Game 7, Josh? Before we get to the other potential Game 7.
Probably Jokic, just because we're a star bleeper society.
I still think we like SGA, though.
I like him a lot.
Even though he's a foul merchant.
Yes. Kind of didn't think about that in the playoffs. Like, oh, yeah, that is just going to grind things to a halt.
Yeah. Lane writes in,
hi, Lane.
OKC will win Game 7. Denver looks on fumes. That's why I thought Denver was going to get wrecked last night. But yes, different things tend to happen at home. I don't think we're getting the Julian Strother game in Game 7.
Probably can't count on that at least, right?
It'll have to be. And when is Jamal Murray not sick? Is he okay? Is he Ryan Kalkbrenner? There's always something wrong with him.
Mm-hmm.
They asked him after the game, they were like, the sideline reporter was like, did you think you were going to play tonight when you woke up this morning? And he smiled and he was like, no. Which that kind of seemed like a lie, but I don't know. So we're going to get a Game 7 there. I tend to agree that OKC is in good shape in that series. Will we have another? Josh Hodson.
Another one.
Banner 19 is still alive.
Still in play.
As I said yesterday, I may have mentioned this offhand, but I will reaffirm this point. I think Boston is going to win at Madison Square Garden tonight. And because I'm just thinking about the Knicks. I'm thinking about the Knicks as a franchise, and I'm thinking, wow, you really kind of have it handed to you now. I mean, you did the work, right?
Right.
You got up in the series 2-0.
Have come back from 20 points down time and time and time and time again.
Tatum gets hurt, and you go up 3-1, and you're like, holy smokes. All we got to do is win one more in our backyard.
Mm-hmm.
You lost the game there, but you got to win one more in our backyard. And we got two more chances after you lost the other one. I think the Knicks are gonna lose. I think whatever the most pain the Knicks could be inflicted on them is going to happen. So I think the Knicks are going to lose, and I think the Knicks are going to lose the series. And I actually think there's an outside chance that Boston still,
I mean,
wins the finals.
I know Halliburton has been playing out of his mind in these playoffs, but if you're in the Boston Celtics locker room, you're telling yourself, hey, we can still do. We're a good enough team to do this.
This is still there.
Knicks, right here. Look at the camera, Knicks. Don't lose this game tonight. Not because I think you would then lose a Game 7 in Boston, but because it would be the longest weekend of your life. Everybody you went up to would be like, oh, you bums. You would be hearing that you were a piece of bleep all weekend long. It's just a bad weekend. Don't give the Celtics any life.
You would be like me on Twitter if you tweet about Nebraska baseball.
Yes. Take it from somebody who has tweeted about Nebraska baseball recently. Yesterday.
Yeah. You don't want to tweet about Nebraska baseball.
Don't do it. Just take care of business.
I think Boston wins tonight. And then I think maybe they win Game 7 too.
I kind of agree with you. Because it's not because I'm like, oh yeah, Boston, baby. Boston's so great. Boston's so good. It's the most Knicks thing that could happen.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. John emails in. Got a couple things here. From the Equitable Bank inbox. Game 7, what is America rooting for? Big Meteor. The NBA is terrible. Okay, good. Venmo Chris. Russ is the ultimate Forrest Gump player. You never know what you're going to get. Indeed. And from the 757 poll question, does Jokic always look like he just got done rebuilding a transmission on a 93 F-150?
I like that. Hold on.
You want me to read that back to you?
Uh-huh. Does Jokic always look like
he just got done rebuilding a transmission on a 93 F-150. Like 1993.
1993.
F-150. Ford. You could do it. Ford F-150.
I think it's implied, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, it makes
Does
it more
Jokic
specific.
always look like he just got done rebuilding the transmission on a 1993 Ford F-150?
Yeah. Put it up.
That is up.
All right, good.
Who wrote that? I'm sorry.
That was from the 757.
Hi,
That was
757.
That was
Thank
from
you.
Virginia.
Thank you.
All right.
Well written.
Excellent job
You
by
get
you.
the show.
Good. That's the NBA, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what we're going to get this weekend. And nobody knows who's going to win the title, which is fantastic. And everybody's mad about it for some reason.
I think that now I don't think that available teams are great for the NBA, but I think not knowing who's going to win is good for the NBA.
Yeah, there's some fun in there. And we get some new blood too, potentially.
Mm-hmm. First sort of dipping your toe in the water in the post LeBron, Steph, KD era.
I tell you what, like if the Bing Bongs win the championship, I mean, that's good for the NBA.
Good for the league.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess the Celtics being in it isn't bad for the league. I mean, it might be bad for America, but
a couple thoughts on Russell Westbrook. David writes in.
Hi, David.
Russ plays like somebody falling down a flight of stairs.
I could see that. I somehow know what you mean by that.
And Mikey Mike says he plays like he's on muscle relaxers, but still fast and athletic.
Just sort
his
of.
feet are too fast for his body.
Right.
You ever met a person whose feet are too fast for his body, his brain?
He's just sort of flopping around. And I don't mean flop like a Vlade Divac flop, like just flailing about. Just
yeah, I know. I never know what's going to happen, though. It could go in. I don't know.
It might.
All right, we're back after this here on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. Kind of disappointed. I thought there would be some state baseball on television today. I'm looking at you, our friends from News Channel Nebraska.
Yeah, do the children not matter?
I guess they matter playing basketball, but not baseball.
Wow. Sad.
There is state baseball going on around the metro right now.
Well, I guess they just got the finals televised like 2 years ago on Nebraska Public Media, so
That's true.
might be a while before those earlier rounds get televised.
I hope those broadcasters who were sitting over at Tal Anderson Field today figured out how to run a crowd mic out the window.
I'll bet they didn't.
The one window that opens. Yeah, I had a really the great people at over at UNO have helped us out with a couple broadcasts this year. That's for sure. Because their effects feed doesn't work. But this is broadcaster stuff that doesn't actually matter to anybody. Unless you like listening to broadcasts and don't like it when it's completely silent and echoey.
Where's the noise?
Where is the noise? You guys are outside, right? No. All right. So there you go. We're going to have a game 7 in the NBA and potentially another. Aaron writes in.
Hi, Aaron.
Do we think the Jets want the Knicks to do good or bad? Like, does the Knicks blowing this series make Jets fans completely ignore their sad franchise, or would them winning keep them happier for the absolute garbage they will be presented from the Jets? This is an interesting question from Aaron.
Does it provide cover?
Now, I in New York, how it works from a fandom perspective is generally you are a Jets Mets guy and you're a Giants Yankees guy generally not always. You're a Jets Mets, you're a Giants Yankees. And I guess I just assume they're all Knicks fans, like unless you're from Jersey and you're a Nets fan and you followed them over to Brooklyn, or maybe you didn't because you're mad that they moved to Brooklyn or something like that. So there's the fandom part of it as well. But yes, the Jets. So the point being from Aaron is the Jets are going to be absolutely horrendous. And do Jets fans want the Knicks to be good, or do they want them to remain bad so it covers up the slop that they have to put out and it doesn't make them look so bad? Like, hey, we're not the only disaster in town. Interesting. It's an interesting thought.
I wish I had a better answer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Either way, whatever happens with the Knicks, and I'm not like, I don't care about the Knicks. Whatever happens with the Knicks over the next 2 games is interesting. Because if they lose, it's like you spoiled the best opportunity you're ever going to. You've had in a very long
haven't been
long
to the conference
time.
finals in 25 years.
Yes, you've spoiled the best opportunity that you've had since, and the path is clear in front of you. If they win, then all the pressure in the world is on them to actually do it, and they haven't been there. And like Josh said, 25 years, which is a long time, Josh. I don't know if you've heard that.
It is a long time.
It is a long time.
Good take by you.
All right. So let's get through a couple things here. Once again, no Bryan Munson today. We'll talk to BC at the bottom of the hour. Sipple coming up at the bottom of the noon hour. Baseball yesterday. Enough happened for Nebraska to make the Big Ten tournament. Don't ask me how. I don't know what happened. They won. I know that. But did something else that happened in the conference force Nebraska to be in? There was something about a UCLA Northwestern game or something like that. Whatever it is, Nebraska is now in the Big Ten baseball tournament. So take your deep breath and exhale and say, thank God. We don't have to worry about that disaster.
Now you can start
anymore.
playing for seeding.
You can start playing for seeding if you want to. If you want to. I mean, Josh, we could talk about this for a couple minutes. If you're Nebraska for the rest of the weekend, since you're in, like, do you actually care what seed you are? Because it's all nonsensical and it doesn't actually matter. Now, I don't know what Nebraska stands to gain by not winning. You know what I mean? Like by resting their best play. Like, you want to make sure you're in a really good position to be able to make a run in the Big Ten tournament, but
I guess
you're not going to be short on pitching.
Tuesday comes pretty quick, though.
So maybe you're trying to make your first game on Wednesday?
I don't know.
Exactly. Exactly. So I don't think it does them any good to, just like turn it in for this weekend and not try. Go win the games that you have a chance to win. And, who knows? Maybe you're still somewhat in the conversation for an at-large. You're not, by the way. But they won yesterday. They were down 8-0, biggest comeback in a long time. And you found a way to beat Purdue, who's your arch rival in baseball, because of the things that they do to you, mostly involving weather. So that's good.
Well, it's always raining in West Lafayette.
But I cannot emphasize this enough. Nebraska and I know you're going to be like, oh my God, here's Happer again talking about Nebraska baseball, and he can never talk about Nebraska baseball unless there's a bad thing to say about Nebraska baseball. Well, this is not going to do me any favors. Those jerseys suck.
They're so bad.
They're objectively bad.
They're about two shades too dark.
I don't know what kids are doing these days. All the kids want to have the black pants, and I don't know why they want to wear pajamas. I don't know why they want to look the way they look. But Nebraska has slate gray uniforms, and the names are on the back of the jerseys. So that's cool. Like, kids want to have the names on their back on the backs of their jerseys. But I'm pretty sure they have the names on the back of some of their other jerseys as well. Anyway, they are slate dark gray, and the names are gigantic. And then, of course, you can top it all off with the fact that there's a giant block N on top of their hats.
Everybody had the socks pulled up yesterday.
What happened? Well, they always have all the socks pulled up.
Okay.
That's a Nebraska baseball thing. It's been that way since, I think Erstad had it too, all the way through the Erstad era. It wasn't a thing before Erstad, or maybe even at the beginning of Erstad. But Erstad, he was like, well, we're going to pull all the socks up, and both agrees. Everybody pulls all the socks up, which I don't.
Good.
No, disagree.
Oh. You like a pant?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I like a pant. I think it looks sharp. I
guess I would prefer a stirrup, but
sure, I would too. And I thought it was I guess it's not the postseason yet. Nebraska baseball usually wears like stirrups in the postseason. Those have been like kind of hard to find over the last couple of years. And so I don't know. We gotta bring Trev back on this. We have to bring Trev back.
Identity, Trev, singularity, through lines, whatever the hell he was talking about.
Because remember Trev's deal, which was we have to keep the brand consistent, and I want we got our basketball team wearing 45 different uniforms, and all that different stuff. And everyone's like, you know what? That's kind of a good point, but we don't have to make it too boring. Trev made it too boring. He put the block in on the court and then just left it. That was stupid. They're getting rid of that. That's good. I don't see a reason why Nebraska baseball needs to have 45 different uniforms, and one of them is slate graphite gray.
Graphite, yes.
Whatever the color, anthracite. Some people call it as well.
Wow.
Yes.
Too big a word for me.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not.
I don't know why I care about this so much, but I really do.
That's your takeaway. Not this team was down 8-0 after 3 innings.
No, they should have beat Purdue
and charged back. They didn't get down. They didn't say, you know what, we'll get the next 2. They came back from the brink of I don't know quite what, but
it wouldn't have really mattered if they had
really
lost.
Wouldn't have.
Yeah.
You want to win every game you play, Connor.
Yeah, you do. You do. And they did last night. No, that is not my takeaway. My takeaway is that their uniforms suck. Sorry. That's my story on Nebraska baseball. For Creighton, they played with some fire yesterday. Wasn't always pretty. Got another good start out of Dominic Cancelleri. And they won at Georgetown. And their magic number, of course, goes from 3 to 2. 2 more wins and they're the Big East champions. But equal time, equal complaining, Josh.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to talk about Nebraska baseball.
We're not honking.
Being, doing something bad or whatever it is. Here's the deal with Creighton. It's not particularly Creighton's fault, but it involved Creighton, and I have a complaint about it. The stream that they were on yesterday, have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I could not begin to tell you how I would go about finding a Creighton baseball stream. I'm sorry. I have nothing for you.
So why don't you do me a favor then?
Okay.
Go to Twitter.
I'm there.
Go to @CU_baseball. I believe that's their Twitter handle.
That is correct. All right.
And pull up a clip from yesterday's game.
Why am I in the shortstop position?
So what you're not seeing and what you're not hearing is the worst part of this. It's not that
there's no score bug.
It's no. There's definitely not that. There's no score bug.
I'm just telling you everything I see. I'm sorry for interrupting.
But what you're missing, the broadcaster is good. The broadcaster is, or he's fine. I've only heard him talk like 12 words yesterday. But it's not the broadcaster's problem. The audio was at least 5 seconds ahead of the video.
Oh, no.
And so when you see the clips, it's, Will McClain, it's a 3-run home run or something like that. And it joins the clip and it's like, wow, Will McClain, how about that? A 3-run home run, and he hasn't even hit the ball yet. So apparently these are that they weren't sure this weekend if they were going to have a stream at all. Period. And then we found out about this thing called Musco Vision, which is something that they have.
That sounds made up.
Now,
that sounds like something from a cartoon.
I don't know what Musco Vision is. I wish I is it Musco the light brand, like Musco lights?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Comment from Platcat.
Hi, Platcat.
I'll buy any streaming service and had never heard of Musco Vision in my life.
Musco Vision. This is Platcat we're talking about.
Yeah, Platcat's dialed in.
He's a crazy sicko.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
we mean that as a compliment.
Musco Vision. It's on Musco Vision. And so, as Matt Marinas pointed out yesterday on Twitter, not only, like, in order to watch Georgetown be horrible at basketball, women's basketball, baseball, and various other sports, you had to buy, like, you not only had to buy the Flow Sports or whatever, but there's another one that they use for a different sport, and then they use this for Musco Vision for baseball for some godforsaken reason that I have no idea why they did that. And the cameras and the broadcast, like when you see the camera angles switch during a baseball game, it is somebody behind a big switcher somewhere directing and producing and changing the camera angles. Hey, take camera 1. Hey, take camera 2. And some places are more or less fortunate than others. You have sometimes 1 camera, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, and sometimes it's a full, operation. In this specific case, I am told that the game was directed by AI.
Connor.
It was guessing as to where the ball was, and it would take you to where the view was based on what AI thought was happening in the game.
I don't anyone watching us on Zone TV saw my mouth hanging open while you were explaining this, because as you were describing it, I was on muscovision.com reading what is Musco Vision.
Yes.
Musco Vision, automated sports broadcasting, makes it possible for fans, friends, and family who can't attend a game in person to never get automated sports broadcasting.
Musco Vision is what you would do for your 8-year-old's game. This is a Division I college baseball game.
You can get it one day for $7.
Yeah.
They sell it by the day because I know. They know.
Because they know. We can get them one time.
3-day, $15. 7-day, $20. 30-day, $25. That's a good value.
So we got to do something here. I don't know. I mean,
the robots are taking our gerbs.
I hope not. I hope this isn't a trend anywhere else. But Creighton went on the road to Butler 2 weeks ago, and they don't even have a field worth playing on. And their team is no good, and their broadcast, their stream setup is a disaster as well. It's so. First of all, I am grateful to be attached to a place that does care at least a little bit about the stuff that they put out there. Think about trying to recruit, Josh. The kids are on social media. They see the stuff on social media. This is the front door to your program now, right? The front door to your program is what you put out on Twitter and what you put out on Instagram. And what you have to put out is a AI broadcast where the audio is 5 seconds ahead of the video. Like, do you want to go play baseball there? No, God, no. No, I don't.
Hey, we're trying to recruit this kid in Mississippi. His parents won't send their kid here because they can't watch their kid play.
I think they have a pretty good coach. I think Georgetown has a pretty good coach, and they were half decent last year in Edwin Thompson. But no, man, like this is a mess. This is bad. So there's my complaint. See, I complain about everything.
There has to be someone attending the University of Georgetown
University, right?
That is like, I'll go do it.
Yeah,
I'll do it. I'll put it on my resume and
put
it'll
it on
be
my
good.
iPhone, and I'll talk behind it or whatever.
I'm essentially going to do that at Fricky Field tomorrow morning.
Josh is a broadcaster of high school baseball games.
Yes.
I
Don't ask me where they're at. I genuinely don't know. I don't know where the broadcast is emanating.
Oh, you don't know where we can find you?
I don't know.
Okay, so that was not what I was going to ask.
I'm sorry.
Although I am curious.
It might be Musco. No, it's not Muscovision because there's a human with a camera next to me.
I am curious, and I do think you should find out.
Okay. Probably should, just to be a professional.
And let people know about that. But who you got, though? Who you got?
Oh, I got the 1-8 matchup in Class C.
Yep.
Tomorrow. And then
the 1-8 matchup in that?
Yeah. Beautiful Class C at Fricky Field tomorrow.
Who's
gonna be fun?
Should I ask who is in the 1-8 matchup?
Would love to tell you, Connor.
Okay.
Would love to tell you. It's a bunch of co-opted schools, so there's lots of long names.
Okay.
I know that much.
All right.
So where's the bracket? I've not memorized it.
All right. I could pull it up for you.
I got it.
Suppose we can get you some help. The Central City Centura versus St. Paul Palmer game.
Yep, I got that one.
Yeah, Central City Centura is 21-1.
21-1, yeah.
10 a.m. Fricky Field.
Then I got Lincoln Christian and Fort Calhoun.
Whoa, watch out.
That's a 4-5 matchup. You throw the records out for that one.
You do. Lincoln Christian 13-5, Fort Calhoun 17-6.
Basically the same school.
Where are they playing these games now? Okay, here we go. Class A.
Going on at Tal.
Class A first round's going on at Tal today. Lincoln East and Papio are playing right now. Millard South and Millard West after that.
Our friend John Schreiner's doing some of those games right now.
And then Papio South, Millard North, Kearney, Elkhorn South. Losers bracket goes to Werner Park. And I guess so does the winners bracket too. The state championship in Class A moves to Werner Park
on Monday after the Chasers move out.
Yes, they take the weekend off. The first round is today at the Tal, and then Werner Park on Monday. Class B, Scott Hastings at Tal tomorrow. Waverly, Gretna East, Bennington, Seward, Ralston, Gross. Losers bracket goes to Papio South. Winners bracket goes to Papio South as well, and then it gets back to Werner Park eventually. Wow, look at this. I guess we have 3 classes of baseball now, and we don't really have enough places to put them anymore.
Maybe we should build more baseball stadiums.
Oh, we do, but the baseball teams are occupying the baseball stadiums.
That's right.
You know, so it's
get the hell out.
It's a little bit difficult in that regard.
Go back to the dugout, Ed.
Where is he? No, not Ed. Billy.
Langrel's pitch. Swing and a miss. Go back to the bench, and you can talk about your strategy for the bottom of the 9th inning. In the frame, 1 run. Oh, and now Billy O'Connor is coming out, and he is gesturing, and Langrel yelled something to the Xavier dugout. Get back in the dugout, Billy. We're going to the bottom of the 9th.
Yep. We should do a little bit of that. All right.
NFHS Network.
Okay, that's on the internet.
Yeah, I think it is.
Josh is going to be on the internet tomorrow doing baseball games. Central City Centura and St. Paul Palmer. Mm-hmm. They're co-oping. I'm glad we got Class C spring baseball around here. Okay, you know what? This is a great place for me to shoehorn another thing in.
Ooh.
So I am I'm a player who comes from the Omaha area, in which I played for multiple high schools, I guess. And then in the summer ball, I played Legion baseball, and I liked it. We played a lot of games, and we were all across town, all across the state. Sometimes we'd go to a tournament out of state or something like that. It was a great experience, and I thought it was good, good bonding. But people ask, what is this all for? I don't know what it's all for. Maybe you get to raise a banner. Maybe you get to win a state championship at the end of it or something. We got third one year.
What do you mean, what is it all for?
It was really cool. We won. But we won enough games one summer to say that we got third place. It was awesome.
Yeah. You made great memories. You learned about teamwork. You learned life lessons, I'm sure, probably.
So what's happening now in Legion, instead of Legion Ball, is the kids are going off to play like in prospect leagues. So they'll travel around and they will, get in front of a bunch of college coaches. And it's great for the college coaches because they don't have to go to these Legion games, like 400 Legion games, to see one person. They could go to one place and see 400 people in one weekend, right? It's pretty great for them.
Okay.
But it hurts Legion Ball. And there's if you're a high school kid and there is opportunities for you to play Legion Ball at like a really, at a pretty high level against some halfway decent players this summer. I get sad when I look around at all the Legion Ball teams and all the best players in the state aren't doing it anymore. But this is the way of the world. So there's yet another complaint from myself here on a Friday.
Wow.
What happened to Legion Ball? All right, back with Brian Christopherson coming up next on a Friday on 1620 The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Don't freak out. Don't freak out.
Connor, what's happening?
Don't freak out. Don't panic. This is real. This is what's happening. We're doing the odd news now. Brian Christopherson, is going to join us in about 15 minutes. He's finishing up something real quick. We got to keep our composure. So Josh is going to have the odd news. I have something for you, Josh.
Okay, lay it on me.
This is from Nebraska men's basketball.
Hoops.
At Husker MBB. They said they're hitting the recruiting trail this weekend. Wheels up. And it's a picture of the Huskers PJ. Here are the places that the PJ is apparently headed to this weekend.
Okay, let's go.
Cincinnati, Ohio. Memphis, Tennessee. Wichita, Kansas. And Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Okay.
I would hope
Probably just
that they're not taking the PJ to Council Bluffs.
could probably
Or
just,
really Wichita for that matter. But I guess. I mean, that's like, what, a 4-hour drive?
You do you, baby.
Yeah. Hopefully not get some clarification on that. Don't take the PJ to Council Bluffs.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Now, does it specifically say
It says wheels up.
Council Bluffs?
It says Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Okay, so it's not like, well, it's in the Epley's at Carter Lake, and that's kind of where the dot figured out where we'd be. Like the dot didn't know, like the AI didn't know.
They're going to Council Bluffs.
Okay.
They're going to, it says.
Let the record show, I tried to help Nebraska basketball.
In letters. Council Bluffs, IA.
In letters.
Well, maybe they'll just cancel that trip entirely because Creighton got the guy from Iowa.
Yes.
Well, there's a big tournament this weekend in Council Bluffs.
Big tournament?
Yeah, big tournament.
Oh, I was unaware. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. Odd news. Let's do it.
Odd news yesterday. Red River Rivalry.
Yes.
Texas, Oklahoma, baseball at L. Dale Mitchell Park. When a bunny disrupted the entire game.
Always.
With 2 outs in the top of the 4th inning, a bunny appeared on the third base side. The animal started running around behind home plate before heading toward the bullpen and exiting swiftly. Play was momentarily paused.
Why do we have to stop the game for the bunny?
He'll
keep going.
The bunny will get out of the way. I promise you.
Like I said, I played baseball at Boyd Park, and there was people behind the baseball stadium on top of the roofs of their houses hitting pitching wedges over to me, and the ball rolled up at third base. And I said, what the hell is this? It's a golf ball.
Deal with it.
They did not stop the game for that. I just turned around and threw it at them, and that was it.
Are Texas and Oklahoma soft?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
This dovetails into story number 2, which is a history of such events happening. Which one is your favorite? Oxford, Mississippi last year, Ole Miss and Oklahoma was delayed after a squirrel ran onto the field at the 17-yard line. So I'm assuming this was a football game.
Yeah. Or rugby or something.
Remember when the Bees took over Chase Field last year?
Yep.
I do, because I made a couple graphics with Nick Cage on them. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
There was a cat last year at an Angels-Phillies game. In the bottom of the 7th, the cat sprinted and landed in the Phillies dugout. Yep. There was a squirrel at Yankee Stadium 2 years ago.
Yep.
Bats at AT&T Center in San Antonio in 2009 and again in 2019.
Where's the bat?
I took it off because we had something else. Pete Rose Day was over.
Okay. All right.
We need a bigger board.
Well, it's not that hard. Just add a page.
Well, I'm over here talking to you.
That's true. How about, did it mention the raccoon at Warner Park?
It did not, but I remember that now that you say that.
Huh.
Nate with a great point
Bunch
on
of haters.
YouTube. The animal lover Connor is disgusted by all of these stories.
No, I'm not. The animals can go wherever they want. I just don't think we need to stop the game as much. I mean, there's no better content. These people sit around and they wait all year for a squirrel to run onto the field.
Okay, you're absolutely right about that.
Just so they can do the tweet that says, this cute little squirrel ran onto the field and nobody could catch it. Of course they couldn't. It's a squirrel.
All season long, teams bang their heads against the wall, hoping something in the office that we film will go viral.
Yes.
But really what you're waiting for is just a squirrel to run onto the field.
100%. It's the easiest way to everybody's hearts. So good luck to all of the baseball accounts this year who are just trying to get stuff to go viral. They're trying to do weirdo theme nights. They're trying to have dogs as bat boys. It won't work. Wait till the cat shows up. Then you'll go.
Then you're good to go.
You just have to make sure you take advantage of it when the cat does show up, though.
Right. You got to be on top of it. You got to get it out right away.
And you got to make sure somebody does something stupid on the field. You know, they're running after it with a trash can. They fall over. You have to make the most out of it.
Platcat has sent us a video from the American Athletic Conference of I'm going to call him a groundskeeper.
Yeah.
Taking a beehive off the top of the dugout with his
saw
bare
this.
hands.
He just kind of pulled it down and threw it in the trash can. And that was kind of it.
No big deal. Just another day in the life for that gentleman. Someone has sent us the time that a bird flew onto the field during a Randy Johnson game. The bird did not fare very well. We all know that video. It's great. It did. A bird blew up. So we go to New York for story number 3. A elderly driver crashed into the Webster Bank branch in Rockland County. This is in New York.
Okay.
In the same vehicle on the same day of the week at the exact same location where he drove his car into the bank 6 weeks earlier.
Is this like the Omaha rock situation?
A little bit.
Yeah, people just get high-centered on this rock.
The crash scene at Webster Bank in, I believe it would be Nanuet, 6 weeks after the last crash at the same branch. The latest occurred Friday, May 2nd, prompting a swift response from the police department. Minor injuries reported, no serious harm sustained. Sources told a local publication there that the driver was the same individual involved in a similar crash on Friday, March 21st. In the earlier incident, which occurred around 2 p.m., the driver drove into the front of the bank, damaged the building, but caused no injuries.
Yeah.
I believe apparently the same thing happened just
We're all trying to find the guy who did this. That's what he should have done. What was that, like 8 weeks ago?
They said it was 6 weeks in between bank crashings.
Gotcha. Nice. Yeah, that's they're gonna have to watch out for that guy.
Yeah, maybe somebody sits that gentleman down and says, "Hey, the time has come. I will drive you to the bank. I guess I'll let you drive everywhere else.
We'll get you the John Bishop treatment.
You're fine." Yeah. Happy anniversary to John Bishop, by the way.
Happy anniversary. What is it at the anniversary of?
25 years of employment at NRG Media.
Really?
A date which he disputes.
Oh, what's this? Okay. Did I miss something? Did John say something?
Oh, yeah. John has commented publicly on his 25th anniversary here with us at lovely NRG Media.
I still have no idea how this date was selected for my company anniversary. I was working at KLIN 25 years ago, and they hadn't yet been purchased by NRG. But happy silver anniversary to me, I guess. Classic John. Can't even take a compliment.
Right.
Classic.
Always got to be aggrieved.
All right, is that all we have, Josh?
That's the odd news.
That is indeed the odd news. We'll take a quick time out, and I know this is weird. We're going to reverse some things here.
Reverse.
Bryan Christopherson, maybe he could give us a scoop.
Ooh, a scoop?
He was talking to somebody while he was supposed to be talking to us. And I said, BC, you got to do you, my friend. You may never know when these children or the children's handlers will call you back.
Wow.
You may never know. You have to take this call. So we are interested in a trade. Maybe we could. No, he's going to rate this story. We'll be back. Bryan Christopherson, Husker 247, joins us on the other side on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
Who's pitching tonight?
You Darvish, having a great year.
The Connor Happer Show.
I know about that guy.
On 1620 The Zone.
What a mess.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Host Coffee stands as the vibrant heart of every break room, offering the unique fusion of traditional quality and modern flair. We're not just your coffee provider, we're the center of memorable workplace moments. Call Host Coffee today.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
In school sports, it's easy to see the wins, the moments that make headlines. But there's so much work that goes unseen for any of it to happen. My name is Phil Risen, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Interscholastic Athletic
Hey, Brian. Brian Christopherson.
I gotta take this. It's Hap.
B. Rooney drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, joined now on the Prairie Flowers Casino Zone hotline by our good friend Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7. BC, what's going on?
Oh, no, how are you doing?
Fantastic. Excellent. I was wondering if you could confirm or not that the Husker private jet is going all the way to Council Bluffs, Iowa today to recruit. Is this true? Have you seen the graphic that they put out?
Yeah, I did. I don't know if they're taking the jet or not. That'd be interesting.
It would be.
But I'm guessing not, but you never know. But yeah, Council Bluffs, I've gotten to know more people in Council Bluffs over the last few years. My wife is from there, so it used to be a thing where I could make a lot of jokes about Council Bluffs, but I cut back on those.
Wow.
Trying to cut my intake.
You know, people don't do it as much anymore.
They don't.
The Council Bluffs stuff, I don't know. We may be welcoming them in at this point. You know, they've got a couple big time recruits coming out of there. We don't turn up our noses so much at Council Bluffs anymore.
No, we don't. Pizza King's a nice establishment there. Krispy Kreme ice cream is good.
Yeah.
So they got a few spots. So yeah, I won't knock them, but I don't think they took the jet there. Is my final answer on that.
Yeah, I would guess not either. As Brian Christopherson joins us here on this on this Friday. BC, what was your reaction? Let's get some local recruiting here. Speaking of Council Bluffs guys, but not a Council Bluffs guy here in Jet Tamala, the Millard South quarterback. He jumps in with an Alabama offer yesterday. He's committed to Iowa State, and obviously for Nebraska football, that ship has sailed at this point with their quarterback recruiting kind of figured out for the next couple classes. But where does your mind go to when you see a local quarterback get an Alabama offer?
I think it's really cool. I mean, that whenever you see one of those SEC schools pop into the area, or like it was with Carter Nelson, when you had you were picturing Kirby Smart, in going out to Western Nebraska, that was always an interesting visual to me. But it just goes to show, I mean, there's a lot of really good football in this state. There's a lot of kids who grow up on it, honing their craft. They've got a lot of good teachers through the Warren Academy and others who are working with these guys, and they compete against each other and they drive each other to be better. And I think, at the team I cover, Nebraska, the coaches recognize that too. There's a lot to look at and a lot to consider with those guys. And obviously, I think, whatever Jet Tamala ends up doing, it's pretty exciting what's on his plate, what's in front of him right now that he can choose from. And so I think that's really cool. I think it's cool what's happening with Braylon Warren. He got a Michigan State offer the other night. I love seeing it. So whether guys end up at Nebraska, the team I cover, or not, I always tend to root for them to end up in a spot where they can flourish.
Hey, it is list season, as you may have noticed, as we're moving from the what did I call it? The schedule memorization period. We're getting there, and now we're full on in list season. You've seen a lot this week regarding, you kind of start at the quarterback position and you look around. I know there's a couple of your colleagues at 247 who had Big Ten quarterback lists. Where do you think the wind is blowing nationally on Dylan Raiola and what he could potentially be this year, with a little bit of turnover at the top of the league, with the exception of Drew Aller, who's back again for Penn State, and they should be really, really good. Looking around, is there an area where Dylan Raiola can really sneak toward the top of the conversation in this league?
Yeah, I would say that there's some cautious optimism about what he's going to do, but I wouldn't say it's overkill with Dylan Raiola nationally. Would you? And in fact, some people are kind of, I think, I wrote this, I think they're actually kind of grading him pretty strictly off a guy who actually played more as a true freshman than a lot of others. I'm excited that there's a Manning in college football, an Arch Manning name, and I'm eager to see what he does. But an example is, I mean, he gets the benefit of the doubt from basically not having had his warts displayed on film yet, with playing limited snaps. And there's some others like that, like Lagway played last year, but didn't play as much as Dylan did. And I think I've just heard a few critiques, which I thought, man, that's pretty tough on a guy who was just starting as a true freshman at 8 months, basically, since he arrived in December to pick things up. So, Dylan's got to go prove it and make that sophomore surge. But I think there's a hope around Nebraska that sort of, there's that term sophomore slump. I think with Dylan, the hope is that maybe that happened in October of his true freshman year. And now you get the bump from growing from that, where you take your game up a couple notches. It sounds like he's had a good off season, but I would say nationally, I don't think people are putting too much on him. In fact, I think there's some people that are saying, oh, he struggles against pressure and this and that, and have actually called out some questions they see in his game. So it gives him a chance to respond to it, which I'm sure the competitor in him loves.
It's a really good point, because I think, we get accused around here of, driving the hype train, especially when there's a guy like that. And you just said it, he didn't really blow you away in his freshman year, but it's not like you can, it's not like the book is written on him. It wasn't bad, the things he did as a freshman in 2024. But I don't know. Maybe that's just the climate around us, that if you're not a high profile transfer or a well established quarterback on a contending team, then you're not going to be in that conversation, I guess, until you are. But I don't know. BC, I have a fair amount of confidence that he'll play himself into like the top 3 or 5 QBs in the league conversation pretty early.
I think so too. In a weird way too. I don't know if this is true, but I wonder this. With the whole like Mahomes Jr. thing, I think sometimes when he had a mistake his first year or something didn't go quite as to plan, people were very quick on the outside to be like, well, he's not Mahomes. Like he's not going to be Mahomes. It's like an unrealistic comparison, So I think some of that was out there just because of his relationship and connection to him and some of the mannerisms that are similar. But I think it's a good place to be, actually. I think it's all right that not everyone that you're not on the front of a video game cover or everywhere, right now. Like let it be a season where you really shine, take your team up a few wins, and then maybe some of that stuff comes next off season. So, yeah, it is interesting though. I think around here there's cautious optimism. I think nationally there's definitely going to be intrigue whenever Rilo plays a game, but I haven't noticed people are just like acting like he's top 5 in the country or anything like that. So that can be something where he can go show that he is.
So a big part of it are the pieces around him, obviously. And I don't know, we start with the wide receivers. We've talked about them a bunch, but I guess I'll just ask it this way. What do we think, and why do we think Dane Key and Isaiah Hunter will be greater than Jamal Banks and Isaiah Nair from a year ago?
I think partly start with Dane Key. He's got, to me, I guess Jamal Banks sort of had a resume that was pretty steady, but I think there's that fact that Dane Key did it at the SEC level and was going against like draft pick corners and showed that he could win some one-on-one matchups, catch footballs in tight spaces, and consistently has been in that 600, 700 yard category there with kind of middling quarterback play, by the way. So I think there's a hope that if Dylan takes his game up, it's going to also elevate Dane Key. And then, Isaiah, I guess you could compare like, okay, they brought in Isaiah Nair, and there was some excitement about that, but Isaiah Nair had a pretty serious injury and kind of not played in like 2 years, whereas Isaiah Hunter, coming off a season that very much stat-wise was similar to Ja'Cory Barney. So I think there's sort of that idea like, well, if he can be what he was last year at Cal, and then Ja'Cory Barney takes another step, and then you got the veteran in Dane Key, you have a pretty good base foundation to jump off of with those guys. But I've said this on here before. I think they're going to be better, but we do in the offseason tend to talk up the receiver spot where we think they have like 7 or 8 guys, and then we found ourselves in November where it's like, well, they have like 2 or 3 that we feel okay about, and it kind of ends there. So they got to show that they have like, weapons 5 and 6 and 7, and there are some interesting wild cards too. Like you wonder if like Demetrius Bell pops out of his injury and can be a factor, and the freshmen, of course, Mosey and Mills. I think Cortez Mills has positioned himself coming out of spring to be a guy who contributes to that rotation. He's got to keep going, but because of that, I think there's definitely some juice behind that position. And also Dana Holgorsen this spring, he didn't go overboard, but he was asked about the receivers and he said it's different. It looks different, and you understood what he was saying. Like he thinks they've climbed up, I think, a step with their talent and what it offers there, but they've got to prove it and get separation for Dylan.
I'll tell you what, if there's a guy on the coaching staff whose word I trust, it's that Holgersen's not trying to pump smoke or anything like that. If there's a guy who says it like it looks different, I'm most inclined to believe Dana Holgorsen.
We do tend to do that. I think it's because the first week or two, remember, you just shot those straight bullets about Like, these guys aren't blocking on the perimeter. Our guys weren't hitting the holes right. Like, he had like 3 or 4 things where he popped right away, and we're like, okay, this guy's just going to tell it like it is. And so since then, if he says something real complimentary, I do tend to do that. I'm like, well, it's got to be true then, because Dana said it.
Right. And in that whole conversation, BC never mentioned Tequil Shorts, and we don't know, exactly what that picture looks like, but he comes highly recommended by the guy that we just talked about, and he brought him in. I don't know that you include that into the conversation too. It does feel like a different picture over there than it did a year ago.
Well, if we're talking about how much we trust Dana Holgerson in this segment, one guy was who he wanted to bring in on the staff and told Rule, like, you got to get Tequil here. And so the fact that he was the person that he selected to add to the staff is telling. And also, Tequil's got a good track record with guys. And I also think it does say something that I know it didn't work out with Hardly Gilmore, but he wanted to be here, and then Dane Key wanted to be here after having seen Tequil up close for a year at Kentucky. So I think there's some reasons to believe that he's going to be a really good coach and good recruiter. But again, they got to go put it out there on the field, and hopefully by the end of September, we're talking about like 5, 6, 7 guys that are contributing and we feel pretty good about. And I know that it's going to be dispersed in the stats and all that, but you'd love to see some different guys pop up where you feel like the defense has to recognize, like, oh, this guy can hurt me over here too. I didn't realize that. Like, it's not just Dane Key and Ja'Cory Barney or something like that.
BC, before we let you go, are you ready to, and your Twins are adding to this right now, live in the world where the AL Central is not only really competitive, but like really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it is really good. It's going to be a tough division race. I mean, the Twins had to do that to get like their head above water to even be in the hunt.
Yeah.
Like, we're still like 4th place behind you. So, and I know you're a clubhouse attendant for the Royals. So that's why I say your guys.
That's right.
But yeah, Twins have won 11 in a row. I didn't see the latest today because Buxton and Correa ran into each other. And I don't want to make a joke about Buxton because being Mr. Glass, because he's actually been really great, but they did run into each other and there was like a worry about concussion protocol. So I haven't seen the update on that, but I'm like, great. That'll smack down our winning streak that. But I don't know. It's gonna be a fun summer though. You're gonna have to be. What if we just run the table on the wild cards in the Central?
There we go. Get the entire AL Central in there except for the White Sox and nobody else. Yeah. Sounds like a good plan to me.
Yeah, let's do that, and then we can all be happy.
All right, BC, have a great weekend. Good to talk. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Brian Christopherson, Husker 247. That's right. He got it right. I am the Royals.
You're clubby?
Yeah, they got a big celebration this weekend.
Oh, it's a big weekend. They're selling special baseballs and everything.
A lot of people are wearing blue suit jackets around Kansas City this weekend.
Looking nice.
Looking fantastic. All right, we are back after this noon hour coming up. Sipple will join at the bottom of the hour right here on 1620 The Zone.
He has the latest sports news, expert analysis, award-winning commentary, and a pocket full of cabbage.
Can you give us an indication why?
Just in case there's a sauerkraut emergency.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Pocket full of cabbage.
That's you.
I got a pocket full of cabbage. That's a remix.
All the kids are doing it.
Sad news. The Omaha Storm Chasers fireworks show is being rescheduled because of high wind and dry conditions.
Damn it!
And there's a burn ban. It's windy out there.
Yeah, it's going to be kicking.
I mean, I don't want to complete the sentence that I was just going to say because it would have been highly reactive and I didn't mean it. But it's amazing how quickly we go from everything is lush and green and the weather is perfect. I mean, there was no thought of a week ago. There was no thought of getting out a sprinkler and, you know, all of these things. Everything's lush and beautiful too. All right. It is windy and dry and you actually can't water your lawn because the water will blow around everywhere and it won't actually hit your lawn. It'll just blow away into other people's, you know, the sides of their houses and things like that. But I suppose such is life in the Midwest. We continue on and this is the way we have to live now. There's a conversation in the chat going on about Dylan Raiola's hand size.
Oh, now you know it's May.
Is this true? Does he have small hands? Is this a thing?
Tiny baby hands?
Who's calling, by the way, Josh?
That was a gentleman who wanted us to watch the Auburn softball game.
We're watching it right now.
That's what we have on.
Yeah.
He gave us some context.
Is it about the sparkly uniforms?
It is not. It is about the Auburn catcher who cannot throw it to the pitcher.
Oh, that's why she did that?
She has the yips and has to like walk halfway between the circle and home plate.
Okay.
And toss the ball gently to the Auburn catcher.
What?
Or Auburn pitcher, I'm sorry.
I don't think you can. I mean, I guess. Right? Like, I guess.
Maybe it's a superstition now.
Because they can't steal, right? They can't. I suppose if one gets by you, you know, you can go at that point. Maybe she could throw down to second.
The caller said she can throw it to all the other bases just fine. But something about the...
Whoa. I got to see this. Hang on. Take a pitch,
back.
USF. Here it is. There she goes.
Just take one.
Walking back.
She's walking that ball to the pitcher. And we had kind of noticed it, but we didn't really think anything of it. We thought like, okay, maybe on that play.
No, because what happened, there was somebody on base. So it's South Florida and Auburn. This is the first game of the Tallahassee Regional in softball.
You're all locked in. You knew that.
2-on-3. Auburn's the 2. And they're playing defense, but there's a USF runner on base, 1 or 2 or whatever it was. And what happened was when we noticed the first thing, the pitcher threw the pitch and then the catcher started walking it back to the pitcher. I didn't know she had the yips at the time, but the first baseman came in behind the play to like cover home. And I was like, okay, that's pretty unnecessary. You don't need it. But apparently it is incredibly necessary.
Very.
Yeah. Wow. That is a great tidbit. Thank you for that information, caller. That's really good.
Thank you, caller.
5-4 Auburn going to the bottom of the third, by the way. Anyway, Dylan Raiola's hands.
Are they tiny?
Yeah, what's going on out here? Somebody's going to tell me the truth. Is this true? Jeff writes in.
Hi, Jeff.
You know it's the offseason when we go from quarterback weight to hand size. Yeah, we're over the weight thing. He's skinny now.
I've been told the weight is not an issue.
It's not. It doesn't look like it. He looks great. I don't know about the hand size. What was the comment that we got from earlier? His hands are too small to be able to be good.
Looking at pics, yeah, he does have small hands for a 6'3" guy is what Lane says. Don't put it on the internet that we said that. Lane said that.
Headley says, looking at pics of him, his hands do not look small. Lane says he fumbled 7 times last year and only lost 2. Headley says his Wikipedia legitimately says he has excellent hand size.
Oh,
okay. He's a pretty big guy.
We're headed out to the Dylan Raiola Wikipedia page right now.
He has one? Cool.
Oh, yeah.
I bet Jalen football doesn't have one.
He wishes. Oh, I'm not reading all this.
Just search hand.
Control F hand.
Yeah.
No, not Chandler High School. Hand.
Come on, Josh.
No, it's all Chandler. No hand.
Okay. So that was a lie that we just got told?
Yeah. Maybe a joke.
Gotcha. So there's quite the dispute going on in the YouTube comments about whether the hands are big. Josh, pull up here. I'll pull one up for the stream.
Hand size. Dylan Raiola has 9.5-inch hands.
That's pretty good, right?
This according to scouting reports, according to 247 Sports.
Okay. Hang on. Let me go to. You know what? I'll pull an image from the wire service. I'm gonna pull some fresh stuff here.
Now this is Dog Sports, DAWG, Dog Sports. If you remember, Dylan was thinking about attending the University of Georgia.
Dog.
He has solid lower body and excellent hand size.
All right, let's go back to the Pinstripe Bowl, and we're going to we're gonna open this up. We'll go to my downloads. I'm going to pull this open right here. This is the first picture of Dylan throwing a football that's on the wire service. The most recent picture of Dylan throwing a football that we have right here.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the USA Today.
That's a good looking photo of our baby boy.
Wire right there. What do you think? Do we think that thumb should be reaching the middle crease of the football?
It looks about normal. Headley says if 9.5 is legitimate, that's bigger than Mahomes.
Okay. Well, nobody ever claimed that Mahomes had big hands, though. Okay, here I got one. I got one of his hand going all the way around the football.
Okay.
So.
Lane says his fingers are thick and don't look very long. Now we're getting into finger size.
Well, you don't need the finger thickness. You need the finger length, I think. All right, so here we go. That's his hand.
I like that. I'm okay with that.
Are you good? Does it look like it's secure, though? It looks like if that Iowa guy's hands popped in there, he's dropping that thing. Man, I'm worried about this all of a sudden. All right, let me find a couple more for you. A couple more examples in the wire service. We have to get to the bottom of this.
Oh no, it's important. This is our quarterback. This is the whole season. Actually, Matt Rule's tenure at Nebraska hinges on Dylan taking a leap of some kind this year.
Also, somebody sent me a picture of Matt Rule. He was like working out with Sean McVay. What was going on?
Yeah, I don't know. Sean McVay's doing the point as well.
What was going on in that picture?
A lot. There's a lot of people.
All right, so here's what you got. We're going to do a couple more of Dylan here. We're going to the Dylan slideshow.
Pinky doesn't reach the laces.
How about this? What do we think?
Well, I mean,
this is against USC.
Like a loaf of bread.
I would imagine his hands got bigger as the season goes along, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's a growing boy.
They might get smaller because of the cold temperatures.
Yeah.
All right, one more.
This one is the one I like the least. This one against USC.
You won't like this one. Those look like some fat fingers.
That middle finger.
That looks like a fat
That's
finger.
a sausage. You're dehydrated.
This is at Ohio State where he was probably running that thing.
Bad teammate. Wow.
All right,
I would like that pinky to be more on the laces, according to Schwartzwelder.
So we got. We don't have the greatest evidence. Do we need another one?
Photo 1 looked the best.
All right, you could. Well, let's go back to photo 1 then. Looks comfortable, right? And and mind you, this is in the rain and the slop of Yankee Stadium.
Is Dylan Raiola a mutter?
Maybe. Maybe. Here, some of these are at, let's see. Let's go back to the beginning of the season.
This might not be the best radio. I apologize.
No. We need to do this.
It's important. Zone TV, 1620 The Zone on YouTube.
I got one more. This might be decent. This is from the game at Purdue that we're about to bring up right now. What do you think?
He looks comfortable, but the ball, does that make sense?
The index finger is above the stripe.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Towards the nose of the football.
Yeah. and the middle finger is about on the stripe or behind it, and the only finger that is on.
Yeah, he's got one finger on the laces. That's a good point.
No,
the ring finger.
He's got one finger on the laces, and the pinky finger is sitting below the laces.
Always does on all these photos you've presented here.
That's very interesting.
Platcat says really gripping the tip there.
Yeah. So I would imagine that's one of the things that you would probably have to do if your hands were small.
Oh, you
right?
have to grab it closer to the nose of the football.
You can't grab it on the fat part.
Oh, okay. This is a damning photo.
Trust me, as a guy with fat sausage fingers, I know it was always really difficult for me to throw a football, so I had to grip it like up toward the top. Yeah.
J-Man on YouTube says, no spring game. This is what you get. Pinky gate.
Now let's go back and evaluate here. RNG Schwartzwielder. Look at the length of the pinky versus the ring finger. The pinky is quite a bit. I mean, that's normal though, right? I mean, your pinky is how. Let's go back to us now, Josh. How much shorter is your pinky than your ring finger? Quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's by far the shortest finger. If you're watching along with us on YouTube, you would understand this right now.
They said Joe Burrow had small hands. He's thriving.
I'm glad. I'm glad this is being brought up because I'm concerned. Maybe he should wear a glove.
Starting quarterback hand sizes for all 32 teams. This is in 2022. And what'd we say? 9.5 was the number?
I bet Josh Allen's got 11.
Lamar Jackson has 9.5.
Okay. That's good. That's good. He could throw that thing. He controls it well.
Oh my God.
I think Dylan controls the ball generally well. Like he throws a good ball. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that. He seems to have good control over it. Like he has worked around the fact that he has small hands. But I am maybe a little bit later in the season, it's something to be concerned about. Ball flies out of there. Watch out.
Josh Allen, 10 1/8.
10 1/8.
Yeah.
Okay.
9.5 would put him, I would say, right about in the middle of NFL starting quarterbacks, according to this article, which is again from 2022, but I imagine it's generally the same.
Matthew writes in, known elite passer, Lamar Jackson. Well, he put that one right on Mark Andrews in the playoffs, and then he just dropped it. So, you can only control so much. All right, back to the text line here on pinkies and fingers and things like this. Brett writes in.
Hi, Brett.
A lot of quarterbacks grip the ball that way. As we go back to the photographic evidence here, we're talking about this. If you're watching along with us on YouTube, with the index finger above the stripe of the football toward the tip of the football. Brett says a lot of quarterbacks grip the ball that way regardless of hand sizes. That's pretty common. Also, get Sipple on the phone. He's very passionate about QB hand size. Great news, Brett. He'll be on the show in 15 minutes.
Wow. Hashtag blessed.
Wow. And then what's this whole thing about RC Cola sent us a picture as well.
RC Cola?
Yeah, RC Cola.
Speaking of RC Cola, is it Matt Rule who had a photo of RC Cola in his stories?
Yes.
Like a week ago over the weekend, and was like, I had no idea.
Yes. Yeah. He was like, wow, this is amazing. I don't know where he was, but you can buy it in stores, Coach. It's there.
It's there.
It's there. It just doesn't get bought quite as much
Sure.
these days. So where was the picture of him working out with Sean McVay, sweating it up with Sean McVay?
That was on his IG stories.
Why are we okay? Charles sent me this.
Hi, Charles.
On an email earlier. So let me go ahead and put this one up as well. This is a very visual segment that we're doing. If you're watching along with us on
it's the wave of the future.
ZoneTV.live. Yeah. So Matt Rule on his Instagram story. Okay.
Sorry.
You want to see it on that side? You see on this side? Sean McVay's in there. Now there's got to be some more famous people.
Who's
in there.
this bald guy? This bald guy is
the
like
guy who
the
looks
guru.
like white James Franklin.
Yes.
I don't know. Who that.
Wow. Yes, I didn't think of that.
I don't know who that guy is.
That is white James Franklin. Thank you.
What's white James Franklin doing? I don't know. I have no idea.
This team killed it this morning. 2,150 straight days unrequired workout. I don't quite know what any of this means.
What about the guy over Sean McVay's right shoulder who looks like just younger Matt Rule? Does Matt Rule have a son or a brother that we don't know about?
Great question. I feel like at this point, we would have found out.
I think so too. Don't talk about my family. Don't talk about my family. Do not talk about my family, please. Oh, okay. Got a lot done there. That's good.
Good segment.
Good segment. It's not over, though, Josh.
Somebody asked, is that Chris Doyle, former strength coach at Iowa,
also
known for other things?
Many things. Things.
You're
talking about the James Franklin guy?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I don't think so, but ooh.
I don't know, and I'm not speculating.
It's close.
Okay. Josh.
Connor.
It is rivalry week this week in baseball. I thought we would take you through a couple of these just to let's just have some fun with this real quick. So, Major League Baseball has decided that they would like to try as hard as they possibly can to make themselves cool. And they're like, let's do the Players Weekend where they all wear funky jerseys and they swing bats that look like pencils. But I don't know if the Players Weekend thing is still happening anymore.
I don't think it is.
And now we have this thing called Rivalry Weekend where everybody is supposed to play their rivals. Now, everybody has a rival. Most teams have a rival in baseball. And I think you start when you're talking about rivals with the interleague rivals, right? So there's a few obvious ones, and all of these teams will be playing each other this weekend. Cubs, White Sox, right? Just go along with me and tell me these if these make sense. Cubs, White Sox, Angels, Dodgers, Reds, Guardians,
yeah.
Royals, Cardinals,
sure,
Yankees, Mets,
definitely,
Rays, Marlins,
yeah,
Nats, Orioles,
yeah,
Twins, Brewers,
sure,
A's, Giants,
yeah.
Those all make sense to me.
We're matching up.
That gets us to 18 teams. 18 teams have pure interleague rivals.
More than half.
Here are the rest of our matchups. A couple of these make sense, and then there's just a few that are going to be left out of this conversation. Rangers, Astros used to make more sense. They're not at interleague anymore. They're in the same division.
They're in the same division.
But they are in the same state. So, okay, it used to make more sense. Now it just makes sense. Pirates, Phillies makes some sense. Same state, same league, not interleague. Okay, I get it. Also, who would you put either of these teams with if not them?
Mm-hmm.
Tigers, Blue Jays. Now, I don't think there's a huge rivalry going on between Detroit and Toronto, but they are very close to each other.
Right.
So we'll give them that. That makes some sense.
I will allow it.
Then we are left with 6 more teams. 6 rivalless teams. Now, one of them is the Boston Red Sox, who very obviously have a rival. But they are occupado with the New York Mets this weekend. That would be the Yankees. So they assigned them to the Atlanta Braves, which makes some sense.
Formerly the Boston Braves.
All right. So we can excuse this one as well.
Chris Sale pitching at Fenway tonight. He's going to do really good or really bad.
We're down to 4. We're down to 4 teams who are rivalless. What do we do with the Colorado Rockies? What do we do with them? I saw a map the other day, and it drew like a big circle around around Denver, and it said it's this giant swath of the country. It said there is only one MLB team in this however many million square mile stretch. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of tough. They don't really have anybody.
I would think because of how bad that the Rockies are right now, you put them with the worst of the remaining 3 teams.
Which I guess they did, but there's no great option. It's the Diamondbacks. It's the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. Same division, same league, but you're at the mercy of what you get. That leaves us with two teams.
The Rockies came into the league with the Marlins, right?
The Rockies came into the league with the Marlins, I believe. That's right.
Okay.
Yes. We're left with two teams, two rival-less teams. The Seattle Mariners this weekend are playing against the San Diego Padres. No, there's no real world where that makes any sense as a rival.
No.
The Mariners and the Padres are definitively not rivals.
At least they're both on the West Coast, and it's not like you can kind of bury it in there. Like, Seattle, San Diego, it's fine.
So why didn't they just do it? Like, if they were going to do rivalry weekend, why didn't they just do the biggest ones and then do the other ones next weekend or whatever? Sorry, Seattle, you don't get to be a part of this game. Like, sorry, San Diego, you don't get to be a part. Or, you could put them against the Dodgers on a different weekend. Or something like that.
You could also, isn't Dodgers Giants a bigger rivalry than, obviously Yankees Red Sox, bigger rivalry?
But you're going for geographical.
Right.
You're going for geographical. You're going for, like, if there's an inner city or an interstate rival, then you're going to match them up against each other.
And so, you're trying to juice the gate through this, right? You're not trying to get baseball's not going to do anything that ever gets a TV number. So, why not do this next weekend over a holiday?
I don't know.
When people have more time to go to a baseball game, right?
Frankly, very little of this makes any sense to me. But it surprised me how, there are some obvious ones for everybody. And I knew that there was going to be some teams left out. So I was really curious to see what we ended up with. And it actually wasn't that bad.
It's not a huge mess.
Yeah. But Mariners Padres is the funniest one. Now, of course, you could always draw some lines in between the two. And as Michael Stibbs tends to do, he says it's the Vedder Cup, as in Eddie Vedder. I'm not kidding. Look it up. They made an Eddie Vedder trophy game so they could call it a rivalry. And this is the first year of the Cup.
Wow. MLB.com/Mariners/tickets/Vedder Cup.
Oh, my God. I had no idea that this existed.
We're excited to partner with the Padres and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Eddie Vedder to officially designate our season series as the Vedder Cup. The winner of the series will take home the trophy. They meet again in August at T-Mobile in Seattle.
What if they tie?
Great question.
There's 6 games, right?
Yeah. Wow. There's a Vedder Cup hat. Oh, FAQs. What if the season series ends tied?
Good one.
If in the result of a tie, the season series between the clubs, run differential will be the first tiebreaker.
Oh my God. A higher seed, maybe?
The team with
Big
the greater
Ten baseball tournament?
What if that's tied? Great question. I'm glad you asked. EV, short for exit velocity and Eddie Vedder. If the clubs share an even run differential, the team with the highest exit velocity recorded on a hit will win the Vedder Cup.
Okay. I'm all in on this. I love this. I hope it immediately goes to that tiebreaker.
Yes.
Whoever hit the hardest ball, you win the Vedder. And do you have a picture of the Vedder Cup? What does it?
I do not have a picture of the Vedder Cup. There is a Vedder Cup logo. There's a hat. And then there are 2 FAQs. The first one is, what if it ends in a tie? The second is, will there be Vedder Cup merchandise?
Of course there will be.
Yes,
the
answer.
Yes, there will be. Indeed.
Those are the only 2 FAQs.
Stibbs follows up and says, this is the most important weekend of my season.
Oh, wow.
And he's watching the Mariners.
Oh, he's dialed in.
Yeah.
Mariners Padres on Apple TV tonight. Spoiler alert for what to watch.
Chance, Pearl Jam holds concerts in both parks, and whoever has the biggest audience gets the cup. I like it. That could be a good tiebreaker. Could be a good tiebreaker. Thank you, Stibbs, for teaching me about baseball. Stibbs knows ball. That's what I've always said. All right. We'll take a quick break, and Steve Sipple will join us on the other side. We'll get him going on QB hand size.
Let him cook.
On 1620 The Zone. Josh, you remember the theme song to Portlandia?
No, not really.
Really?
Show always bugged me for some reason. I could never put my finger on it.
I don't love the show, but everybody knows the theme song. The dream of the 90s is alive in Portland. You got it?
Are we just Schick and Nick now, where we're doing theme song Thursday?
No.
I'd be okay with it if we were, by the way.
No.
Okay.
No. This is not about theme songs.
Everybody's a little nervous right now.
This is all a very long way for me to say this. The dream of NIL is still alive in college baseball. Remember the spirit of NIL, Josh? People were going to offer their services and you were going to pay them $10 to do a social media post. And everybody was going to say, wow, this is awesome. This is really cool.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Maybe they will, wear a cool wristband for you in the game or something like that. And then NIL turned into something completely different. And
pay for play, Connor.
It's just pay for play. And that's okay. But college baseball has remained pure and innocent. And so this was found by our friends at 11.7 College Baseball, a podcast. Sipple says he will be ready to join us in 18 minutes.
18 minutes.
He said I could do 12:50. He's at a luncheon.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
I'll talk hand size with him anytime.
Yeah. That's really all I want to ask him today. So we'll do that. But 11.7 College Baseball, the College Baseball podcast, 11.7 being how many scholarships are currently available for a whole college baseball team, of course. But this podcast will actually have to get a new name because now it's whatever the limit is, 35 or something whatever it is. 28 next year. I don't know. But it focuses on a West Virginia baseball player by the name of Robbie Porco.
All right. Tell me about Robbie Porco.
And so how on the school websites you go through and you're like, oh, here's a link to their Twitter, here's a link to their Instagram, and here's a link to like their open doors for like NIL opportunities and stuff like that. So you click on that for West Virginia baseball player Robbie Porco, Porco for the record. And you will get one option for NIL deals with Robbie Porco. And it is entitled Hang Out.
Hang out?
Hang Out.
What do you mean, hang out?
I'm glad you asked because there's the description of Hang Out as written by Robbie Porco.
All right.
I can come chill. And it costs $1. Have you found this? Were you searching while I was talking?
I was searching. I have not found it actually. I'm on his roster page on West Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Robbie Porco.
Position, height, weight.
I can put it up on our stream right now. That's what you'll see. Hang Out. I can come chill. $1. Now that's a pretty good deal.
Is
what? You're gonna try and say? No, it's Hang Out. It's not Netflix and chill.
He's not. Okay, this is not Netflix and chill.
I mean, I suppose if you want to watch Netflix, then great. But that's real Netflix, not Netflix and chill.
Okay.
So you can hang out with Robbie Porco, and the price to his NIL fund starts at $1. $1.
What?
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Thank you, Robbie Porco. So now there is a move. There is a movement on the internet to make Robbie Porco a whole bunch of money. A whole bunch of he's going to get a whole bunch of requests to hang out.
We all trying to hang out with Robbie Porco. West Virginia's 40-11.
No, West Virginia's really good. Yeah.
You might be asking Robbie Porco about hanging out.
Oh my God, that's a great question. Yeah. That's a great point. I'm going to be down at the practice day and I'll be like, Robbie Porco, you got to tell me about this. You got to tell me about this story.
What? take us into some hangout sessions. What do people ask you to do? It's a family radio station. Keep it clean.
Venmo Chris writes in.
Hi, Venmo Chris.
Is Mr. Porco a hefty fella? No, it doesn't seem like it. He actually seems quite skinny. Although it'd be funny if his name was Porco and he was a big guy, though. Seems pretty skinny to me.
He is 6'8", 235.
6'8"?
Yeah.
235? That's pretty skinny.
That's what he's listed as on...
6'8"? I don't want to hang out with a 6'8" guy. Too tall. Jeff writes in.
Hi, Jeff.
Inflated sense of self to think people would pay to hang out. Maybe. But it's $1. It's one singular dollar.
You know there's a bunch of drunk guys on campus who are like, hey, for $1 we can get Porco to come over.
How many people do you think have done this, have taken advantage of this year? Probably zero would be my guess.
Right.
And so there's his, I assume this is, app.influencer. I love those new companies that just have a word, but they take all the vowels out of it. And that's the name of their company. Influencer.com. Yep, that's right. Still there. You can still do it. Blackcat writes in, I'd pay to hang out with Porco before I buy Muscovision. Me too. I'll be watching the Creighton highlights this weekend. Not buying Muscovision. I'll let the other sickos do that. So I just wanted to give a shout out. A lot of time we talk about all the bad that's going on in college sports.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it's tough out there right now. It's really difficult. But wanted to make sure we give a shout out to the good as well. And that's Robbie Porco asking people for $1 to come chill. I'll come chill. Whatever.
Is there a vetting process?
I don't think so.
I mean,
I don't think so. He's going to have a lot of requests to come chill.
In college, I mean, how many times did you just end up somewhere you're like, I don't really know who this person is, why I'm at their place, but I got here.
Yep. Elsewhere in the NFL, another book has hit the stream here.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's going to be a book. And it involves, it's Seth Wickersham's book, American Kings, a biography of the quarterback. And they followed around Caleb Williams in the months leading up to the 2024 draft. And taking center stage is not Caleb Williams in this story. It is his dad, Carl. Carl said, quote,
Carl, good to see you.
Chicago is the place quarterbacks go to die. He did not want his child to go to Chicago. Caleb wondered around aloud to his confidants, do I want to go there? I don't think I could do it, with former Bears offensive coordinator Shane Waldron in place. The forthcoming book, to be published in September, offers a detailed account of what it means to be a quarterback at various levels, from high school to college to the NFL, and what it's like for legends in retirement. It features unprecedented access with dozens. There are dozens of us, of quarterbacks, and generational greats such as John Elway, Johnny Unitas, Warren Moon, members of the Manning family, Steve Young, and others. It also includes current signal callers such as Kirk Cousins and Drake May, and additional details inside the ruthless recruitment of Arch Manning. And it also chronicles LSU quarterback Colin Hurley's near-death car wreck in January and subsequent full recovery. So the part that has gained headlines is the Caleb Williams part. Carl, his dad, went to great lengths to try to circumvent the end of the NFL draft, Wickersham writes, wanted to give his son an opportunity to choose his future employer. The Bears had not drafted a star quarterback since the 80s, and their recent draft selections, Mitch Trubisky and Justin Fields, did not pan out. Carl was worried that with the franchise's history, stadium uncertainty, offensive performances under then head coach Matt Eberflus, Caleb Williams wouldn't have the organizational support to succeed. Quote, I don't want my son playing for the Bears, Williams told several agents in 2024. This is, of course, knowing that the Bears had the number 1 pick. So he tried a variety of different ways. He looked around for ways around the league's collective bargaining agreement. He spoke with a variety of different lawyers and agents, and even considered whether his son could sign with the United Football League and become an unrestricted NFL free agent in 2025 to be able to pick a team. In addition to the draft process, Carl vented about the rookie wage scale, which could lock his son into the team that drafted him for up to 8 years. He calculated hundreds of millions of dollars of lost market value income. Quote, the rookie cap is unconstitutional, Carl told Seth Wickersham, later adding that the CBA is the worst piece of bleep I've ever read. It's the worst in sports history. After a while, being told by his father that he couldn't, shouldn't, and wouldn't let him play for the Bears, Caleb started to agree. He said, I need to go to the Vikings. And his father said, let's do it. Even though they both knew that a trade to a divisional rival for the number 1 overall pick was highly unlikely. Then the Bears came through and said, Caleb, I'm sorry, but we are drafting you no matter what. And everything has worked out generally fine. He was fine last year, and I think he will continue to be fine, if not good, going forward. However, this kind of thing tends to tarnish a relationship between a city and a player. I want people to know, I don't know how Chicagoans will view this, but helicopter parenting happens a lot. I feel bad for Caleb that this is in the book. First of all,
I feel horrible for him. Actually, I generally don't have any opinions about Caleb Williams.
So I hope that that's most people's takeaway from this. Like, God, his father seems like a real piece of work.
His dad, who thought Caleb could be part owner of the Bears as well.
That's right. That was one of the lengths that they tried to go to. And then eventually Caleb said, Dad, give it up. All right.
I'm going to the Bears.
We're going to have to go to the Bears. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to go to the Bears.
I'm really good. I'm going to the Bears.
There's also a lot in here apparently about him not knowing how to watch tape, which is possibly equally, if not more so, concerning for Caleb.
He's got to win 10 games or they're just going to ride him out of town.
Yeah. I feel bad for Caleb.
Because he ultimately went to the Bears. So, like, he came to his senses at some point, right? And is trying to get better.
And I don't think he ever really, it was just from his dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Part of the book reads, at times, Williams said he would watch film alone with no instruction or guidance from the coaches. No one tells me what to watch, Caleb told his dad. I just turn it on. This is as a member of the Bears last year.
I mean, there's two ways to say no one tells me what to watch. There's two ways to say it. No one tells me what to watch.
No, it's not that one.
No one
tells
me what to watch.
No one tells me what to watch. No one is telling me what to watch. I don't know what I'm watching would be a different way to say that. Yeah. So, probably going to have to learn.
You might need to say, hi, I'm Caleb Williams, quarterback of the Chicago Bears. I would like some help.
Yeah. Probably going to have to learn. One quick follow-up on Mr. Porco. James writes in.
Hi, James.
At Happer Show. I'm no mathematician, but you could get 7 straight days of Porco for the same price as 1 day of Muscovision.
That's right. Yeah, 7 for 7, yeah.
7 days of Porco.
You can get 7 hangs with Porco.
Poll question up at Happer Show. Do you want to hang out with a 6'8" guy? Nope. Too tall.
Too tall.
Absolutely not. Coming up next, our dear friend Steve Sipple from HuskerOnline.com. We're probably not going to talk about much serious with him today. Maybe hand size. I mean, hand size, I think he takes it really seriously. That coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
Steve Sipple.
Hut, hut, hey! The conversation gets even more uncomfortable, okay?
Omaha! Steve Sipple on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by our good friend Steve Sipple from HuskerOnline.com here on this beautiful, beautiful Friday. Hi, Sipple. What's up? Oh, sorry. I got to get him over there. What? Sipple, sorry. We had to switch you over. What's going on?
Not much. How are you doing?
What? Are you in a rush or are you okay?
Oh, yeah. I just did a little birthday lunch.
Well,
but I can take it. The conversation's waning, so we're fine.
Oh, so you felt like, okay, we've gotten past the greetings and the salutations. I could step out for a minute.
The small talk happened. Then there was serious talk, and now it's back to small talk, and I'm about ready to head out, so we're good.
Okay, so we don't have to talk about much today because we're on a time crunch and you're on a time crunch. So let's just I have a couple things for you.
Let's do it.
Number one, are you concerned about Dylan Raiola's hand size at all?
No. Why? Why is this a subject?
People ask. The commenters to our show they expressed concern, and we looked at some pictures, and they didn't really confirm it one way or the other. I wasn't sure what you thought about it.
No, I think it's fine. I'm not concerned about it. He's the type of quarterback I like, especially in the Big Ten. Just in general, I like quarterbacks who can drive it down the field in weather, and he can do that. So, no, his hands are fine. Big, strong kid, 6'3", 220, and he's all of 6'3", 220. So, no, I have no concerns about Dylan Raiola.
No concerns about Dylan Raiola, period.
None.
Wow.
I don't I think the world of him, and I think he's a very good quarterback. I think we're going to see it.
Well, when you
put stuff around him,
when you shake his hand, does his hand go? Does it kind of claw you like a bear? Does it go like around your hand? Like you could feel when guys have big hands.
I don't know that I've shook his hand. I think we fist bumped. It's possible I shook his hand at some point, and I don't remember it being small or large. Probably, it just is what it is.
Okay. All right. So that's good. Well, next time then maybe you shake his hand just so we can get some final confirmation on this hand size thing.
I will. I'll size it up, so to speak.
Okay. Nice. I like that.
How about that, Connor?
I also got this sent to me by a reader of yours and a listener to this show. So you wrote in your section in Tunnel Talk today that Dylan Raiola had to be a driver picked him up to take him to the airport from the camp that he was at last week. Is it possible that he took an Uber to the airport, or
no, it was a driver? That's a good question, though. I didn't put in there. That's a really good question. I didn't put in there. I probably should have. Writing's tricky sometimes. He was dropped off too. Now it could have been. It wasn't an Uber. It was a driver.
So he has a driver.
Yeah, he does at times. I mean, in a time like that where he's going to the airport, that makes sense. Now remember, he lives a little different than we do.
I know, it's crazy. This is what I want to talk about for the remainder of our 5 minutes today. This is what I want to talk about. How Dylan Raiola's life is so much different than I really can comprehend because he's 19 years old and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
It makes sense to me. He's from wealth and he's wealthy. So it makes total sense to me. I don't live like that, but I had a dad who played 14 years in the NFL and I was making upward of, if I was making more than $2 million a year, I'd probably live a little differently than I live now.
What would be the first thing that you would do if you got a couple $1 million?
Driver might be one thing I do.
You love driving, though.
I don't love driving, and if I was going to Omaha to a camp, and I knew that my flight was that night. He was catching a flight to Georgia. And it probably was fairly tight. He was at this camp, around dinner time. I had to get to his, and all that. That would be the sort of time that I'd say, yeah, you know what? I can get a driver. I don't have to deal with all this stuff. You don't have to. I don't want to park and all that. I just get dropped off. You could get an Uber. If that's, I guess. But if you don't have to, you don't have to. You just have to.
I would do a personal chef. I think that'd be my first thing. But he's already got that too, since he goes to school at Nebraska and he's a football player.
Yeah, that's a good idea, though. That'd be one. That'd definitely be something I'd consider. A chef, for sure.
You'd probably buy a couple more motorcycles, or
Oh, I'd have a fleet of motorcycles. I can tell you that.
Yeah. You've always, I think in our conversations, you said if you got enough money, you would just like be on the lam, right? Or you'd be a long haul truck driver or something. Is that still in the cards for you?
On the lam.
What?
On the lam. I don't know what I do. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know. I'd want to do something, but I don't know. I'm not sure it'd be overly productive. But yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to find out, Connor.
Okay. All right. Well, keep grinding. Yeah. Hey, Sipple, go back inside. It's very windy.
Yeah. Can you hear me at all?
A little bit, enough. But that's good. That's really all I wanted to talk to you about today.
Yeah, it's May, and we'll do it again next week under normal circumstances, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, and wish whoever it is a happy birthday from the Connor Happer Show.
Yes, I'll wish my father a happy birthday.
All right. See ya, Sip.
All right, see ya.
Steve Sipple walked away from his own dad's birthday lunch.
The conversation was waning, so it's fine.
Hey, you got to know your spots.
He talks like a writer, too.
Yeah, he does.
Conversation was waning.
He wrote this in his Tuttle Talk. He said, the rule camp in Omaha was May 8th. Dylan turned 20 the next day, so he was catching a flight to Beaufort, Georgia that night. A driver picked him up at the camp to take him to the Omaha airport. There are perks to being a highly paid collegiate quarterback. And I read that and I just wondered, like, is it possible that a nice looking Uber just came by and took him to the airport from where he was at?
That would make more sense.
I would think so. I would just call an Uber rather than having a driver on retainer.
Yeah, he's probably just like, what's the Uber X? Uber. What's the nice one?
Have you ever got an Uber Black?
Uber Black.
Or an Uber XL or one of the Uber Blacks are sweet.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
When I went to New York.
Much too poor.
No, but here was the deal. It was it's an 8-mile journey into the city, but it takes 45 minutes or something like that. And they're all horrendously expensive. And so the regular Uber was $100 or something like that. At the Uber X or the Uber Black or whatever the hell it was $105. So I was like, let's go. Let's see what this Uber Black thing's all about. And it wouldn't be worth it in any other scenario, probably. But in that one, I was like, there's no difference. So let's do it.
Definitely a bottle of water in there for you already.
There was. There was. And there was no chit chat. No chit chat. And if there was chit chat, I would have had to initiate it. I still think it's possible that Dylan Raiola got an Uber to the airport.
I'm not ruling it out.
Can't rule it out. All right. We'll be back. 1 o'clock hour coming up on 1620 The Zone. a bunch more softball games on by now, right, Josh?
Yeah, the 7 innings might be on. That's their squeeze play.
Okay, we get a little refresh going here.
Mhm.
NCAA baseball. We get a bunch of NCAA baseball.
Sure.
7 innings live. There it is.
Boom.
Let's go check it out. Nebraska, of course, in the Baton Rouge regional. First pitch set at 2:05 this afternoon. Apparently, Duke is beating Howard 12-0.
Wow.
Looks like a nice field at LSU. I always like the look of softball fields. Nice and small and tidy,
Very clean.
Very clean. The outfield walls are like short, but they look nice.
Mhm.
In college baseball, sometimes you just get a chain link fence and you're
Right,
like, here, why don't you go play in a city park? Softball, got some nice stuff going on. Honk honk, Creighton's getting a nice new softball complex or softball park next year to play in. Yeah, honk it up. Sure.
Honk, honk.
Exactly. We're looking forward to see how Jordy Ball and company do today in the Baton Rouge Regional against, is this right? UConn. Oh, no.
That's right.
Welcome to the Big East.
UConn.
I have no takes.
You said last week, watch out for UConn.
Well, I mean, I imagine Jordy Ball will do well. I don't think anybody in the Big East probably has anybody like Jordy Ball.
Player and pitcher of the year.
Yeah. That's a little bit different.
Rare.
There's some buzz. The softball people are saying that Nebraska could get out of the Baton Rouge Regional. I mean, that's why she's here after all, right?
Yeah, this is the reason.
To take Nebraska to the College World Series.
She hit the portal
for women.
Had to wait a year and then play the regular season
not
out.
By NCAA rules, not by biology.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she had to wait.
Some might say God.
Yeah. Or maybe just a random weird mound in Mexico.
That's right. That could probably be the more likely call.
Did I ever tell you this story? I asked her about that. I saw her at Werner Park. And I had it like we were just sitting down and we were both in the same room for a while. And so I just peppered her with a bunch of questions. And I was like, so was the field screwed up or anything like that? And she was like, no.
Oh, okay.
And she could have been just taking the high road because that's totally Jordy Ball.
Right.
But I was like, there it had to be screwed up. Like you're at a tournament in Mexico. Like what's going on there? Nobody knows. Are the rules the same? What's happening? And she was like, no, it was not that at all. Like definitively it was not that. They were actually so like, number one, nice. Number two, they felt horrible. They were really apologetic. Like the people who ran the field, and they were like, I cannot believe this happened. Because it was in the second inning.
Oh yeah, it was right away.
It was in the second inning. And she was like, oh my God, no, they came up to me and they all felt horrible. And she had to be like, no, it's not your guys' fault. It's not Giancarlo's fault.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
That's what she had to tell the groundskeepers in Mexico.
Little known fact, a young man by the name of Giancarlo actually runs the field.
Yeah. His name used to be Mike.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
Yeah. So, as Jordy would say, this is God's plan.
Mm-hmm.
And
Drake, Jordy Ball, handshake
meme. So Nebraska's going to give it a go today.
I wouldn't want to play them if they were in my region. If I was hosting a regional and
not interested.
Nebraska's year 2. No, thank you.
I mean, she won the College World Series most valuable player 2 years ago,
and now she's, as Garth Brooks said, down in Baton Rouge.
And remember, Holly Rowe asked her what it was like. She mentioned that she was from Papillon.
Papillon? You're from Papillon. Yeah.
Remember that?
I do. Now that you bring it up.
She was like, yeah, Papillon. And Jordy was nice about it because that's the way that she rolls. So Nebraska softball is going to get it going today here in just a little bit at the top of the 2:00 hour. UNO softball.
Norman.
They're in Norman. Yes,
Now,
they're going
the Sooners did not see Omaha in their draw and go, "Oh no, what happened?"
Oh, but maybe they should.
They should. They should be scared.
They
you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
They won a hell of a lot of softball games over the last couple of years,
mm-hmm.
And so I think it's unfortunate for the Mavs that they ended up in that particular region because they're thinking, "Boy, we were a game away or an out away from really pushing for a super regional last year against Missouri. Now this is the big time.
Feels like
you're the 3 seed. Yeah. You're going to get Cal today, and then you ultimately have to get through the biggest and the baddest of them all.
The number 2 overall seed. Oklahoma.
But as from a program standpoint,
yeah.
it's legit.
It's the big bad wolf.
I'm telling you, man, there is like, there's only we talk about this all the time. There's only so many programs in the country that are like that in the women's sports category. It's if you were making that list of the most important women's sports teams, biggest followings, whatever, biggest brands in the country.
UConn women's basketball.
Absolutely. Nebraska volleyball.
100%.
And
then
Oklahoma softball.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were doing it 15 years ago, it would be UConn women's basketball and Tennessee women's basketball, or maybe like 20 years ago now. But like, you get the point,
right?
There wouldn't be a whole lot outside of women's basketball. A lot outside of Pat Summitt and Gino Auriemma. Now there's like 5 or 6 college volleyball programs who consider themselves to have gigantic followings and sell out crowds and stuff like that. Obviously, it's not just Nebraska, but they are, for all intents and purposes, at the pinnacle of the sport. Oklahoma softball gets covered like Nebraska volleyball does. There's podcasts. There's
the honks and the scribes.
They got the honks, the scribes. They got the kids making edits. Oh. It's kind of like Caitlin Clark, but just all the time. And it's Oklahoma softball.
What if Caitlin Clark was a team?
We just saw it basically for the last 4 years at Iowa. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a different deal. It's a different deal down in Norman, Oklahoma.
And they tied for the SEC championship because of weather.
That's right.
With Trevin M girls.
It was set up for Oklahoma and Texas A&M in the SEC final, and they said, "That's good.
We're good here.
You guys are both going to the tournament. You guys are both going to be regional hosts.
You're going to be 1-2.
So we don't really need to do this. There's no need. Canceled. Pretty awesome. Theo, who's always checking in on the podcast everywhere.
Thank you for doing the work for us, Theo.
Ball is a super villain on Oklahoma softball pods.
Sure, I would imagine so, right? Like,
well, just imagine what if Caitlin Clark transferred?
Yeah, after Iowa, she's like, I always wanted to go to UConn. Gino said I'm good enough to play at UConn.
Oh
now.
My God, like, that would be horrible.
Not that Nebraska
that would be so toxic.
Yeah, not that Nebraska softball is UConn women's basketball, but like, what if? Yeah, she turned her back on all. You're going to turn your back on all this? This is Oklahoma softball.
That would be the most toxic collegiate women's sports story that we have ever seen.
If somebody comes up through the ranks like that, it says, "Deuces, I'm going to the school with money and a following, and you don't have any of that here."
Yeah, but that's what made Caitlin Clark awesome. She stayed and turned Iowa basketball into a brand, and now, of course, that program thinks their poop doesn't stink.
Oh, shucks.
They love themselves. Nothing Iowa women's basketball loves more than Iowa women's basketball.
You're wrong. The thing they love more?
Lisa Bluter.
Big Ten protocol.
Big Ten protocol.
They love following Big Ten protocol.
Yeah. So now that program thinks they're born on third base, or thinks that they deserve to be treated, I guess, like they're born on third base. And
we're a pillar in this sport.
Exactly. They're not. They had Caitlin Clark. You
got one.
Yeah. So that'd be like that's the Jordy Ball story. So that's exciting for both UNO and Nebraska. From a baseball perspective, Nebraska and Purdue. Now, did they change this already today? I know was there some movement in this category?
I believe the movement was last night.
Okay. We're on as scheduled for Nebraska baseball at Purdue today at 3:00.
Yes, 16 hours ago they changed it.
That's good.
And confirmed it 4 hours ago.
No real reason for Nebraska baseball to need to do anything this weekend. They have their future secured. But be nice to win. Feel good.
Yeah, you want
going into the conference tournament, which is next week, and it's in Omaha. And then Creighton baseball at Georgetown on Muscovision at 3:00 with their AI cameras. And that should be exciting as well. Creighton, of course, with 2 wins this weekend, is indeed the Big East regular season champs. Josh, do you think Creighton will do it? Georgetown, winner of 2 Big East baseball games this year. I believe 2-14 now.
Yeah, I think they will. They
should.
should at least.
I would think that Friday would provide the biggest hurdle in getting to that position, because of just the general type. 3-16, by the way, is Georgetown in the Big East.
3-16. I worked for Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I would say that just the general sort of tightness, and then you're going up against their best pitcher, as well.
Sunday's the question now, right? Like, are you gonna not get lazy, but are you going to coast on Sunday?
I would imagine. No, I would think if Creighton wins today, Georgetown will probably just lay it on down on Sunday and say, all right, I'm good. This season could be over now. We're about to go 3-18 in the Big East. There's no need for that. And Creighton will win like 42-0 or something like that.
That would be fun.
It would be 42-0. But
for the AI broadcaster.
So that's the thing that I'm now concerned about the most. What happens when they win the Big East regular season and there's a dog pile on their field and the only person there to see it was Muscovision?
Are they going to point at the dog pile? Do they know?
Like, you can't put that in the highlight video for next year, right? There's got to be some. I know Glenn's out. I think Glenn's out there. He's doing some pictures and he'll have some video and stuff like that. But man, that'd be unfortunate. Get the dog pile on the last day of the regular season, but it had to happen on Muscovision. But you take what you can get. All right, that is the setup for the weekend with all of our local sports. So all right, prediction time then. Before we move on to one more thing here on the show today. I know there's no way to know this, Josh, but I'm going to throw it to you.
Okay.
What seed is Nebraska at the Big Ten baseball tournament?
Wow, yeah, there is no way to know.
There's no way to know. Give me a number.
I believe earlier in the show I checked they are currently the 8 seed. I think they will stand pat as
just
the 8
stay
seed.
at 8.
Yes.
All right, 8.
Which wouldn't be terrible.
Does Creighton baseball win a conference title?
Yes.
Does Nebraska softball start 2-0?
2-0.
2-0. Wins over UConn and LSU.
No.
Is Nebraska... I have to check the schedule here. Is Nebraska softball still alive when we begin the show on Monday?
Yes.
I think so too, but I'd have to check the schedule on that one real quick. Women's softball. Okay, and then I'll ask the same thing for the Omaha Mavericks.
I don't think they will be alive anymore. No,
you don't.
Their season. The players will be alive.
So okay, good clarification, Josh. So usually the game sevens.
I know in baseball,
regionals,
a lot of times that game 7 is on Monday. I don't know how softball does it, and I'm not going to pretend to know.
I currently don't see any games scheduled for Monday in softball. So maybe they're trying to wrap it up, but there's always weather involved, of course, as well. Okay, so you're saying Nebraska? Do they get through? Does Nebraska get through to the super regional
softball?
Yes.
Yes.
Nebraska wins a regional.
Yes.
Wow. and Omaha doesn't.
Correct.
Got it. All right. There you go. Josh is on the record, everybody.
I think they're going to lose that first game to LSU, and everyone's going to get scared.
And they're going to come back and beat them twice?
Yeah.
Wow. What a story. How many pitches on Jordy Ball's right shoulder this weekend?
1 million, and we freak out about it on Monday.
But we shouldn't, because it's softball. Nothing happens.
But Connor, she threw 712 pitches.
It doesn't matter. There was Creighton once played in a 31-inning softball game, and it was the same pitcher, it was part of like a triple header that day. It doesn't matter. Just play.
Rob tweets the game notes from that a lot, and
we talked about it.
I read it every time.
I didn't actually know about that until last weekend when Rob told me the whole story, and he was like, "Look it up. We have a whole URL dedicated to it. It's like gocreighton.com/31innings." Yeah. It's okay. You can pitch as long as you want. And Jordy Ball's going to have that thing on her shoulders all weekend long. All right, we'll be back. Still a little bit more to come here on a Friday. Before we take a break, I do want to remind you what an opportunity that you should not miss your chance to win $5,000 with the Mo Money giveaway. Enter to win now, 1620thezone.com with Saul's Jewelry and Loan in 1620 The Zone.
3.
We got a brewing situation in the Tallahassee Regional in softball.
Oh, no.
Auburn 6, South Florida 6, top of the 7th, 1 out. You just wonder if the catcher with the yips is going to come into play.
They got 2 on. The Bulls have 2 on.
I'm just saying it could get a little dicey.
Yeah.
If the catcher with the yips, there's a runner that gets to third base. Like if I'm
walk into the circle right now.
If I'm on third base, I'm creeping down that line after the pitch.
I'm going to get in your head. I'm going to get in the catcher's head. If
Also,
you missed it earlier, the Auburn catcher appears to not be able to throw to the pitcher's circle.
Yeah, she's got the yips.
But can throw everywhere else.
She can throw everywhere else. There she goes, running it back right now. Like I'm telling you, if there's a runner on third base, I gotta be really dancing down that line.
Clearly there's nothing in the rule book against this, but if you're the umpire, hey, you got to throw it.
Oh, you're
just hey, you got to throw it.
It's a pace of play thing. Maybe.
I gotta be here all day. I'm not waiting for you to walk back and forth all game.
She could lob it back in there, right?
Yeah.
What's so hard about that?
Float it.
Yeah, seriously, underhanded. She's only 40 some feet away.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be a little
strikeout.
Yeah, there she goes, walking it back. And she literally hands it to her. Why not an underhand toss?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Keep an eye on that one. You never know.
Okay.
Josh, Lincoln Riley is the topic on the show today. And no, I'm sorry, Plaid Cat. We're not getting the USC guy on. I'm sorry. Not today, anyway. Summer school is right around the corner, though. Don't worry. University of Southern California football coach Lincoln Riley was credited with a little more than $11.5 million in total compensation for the 2023 calendar year. The school's new federal tax returns show $11.5 million.
It's a good chunk of change.
Yes, it's more than many, if almost all, coaches in college football. The document provided by the university yesterday in response to a FOIA from USA Today Sports also showed that Riley has the benefit of a housing loan that has a balance due of $3.43 million, the same as the original amount. So I tried to think about this critically any way I could. Somebody is going to have to explain it to me. The best thing that I could come up with as far as the $3.5 million housing loan is that Lincoln Riley negotiated it in his contract to, like, when he left Oklahoma, put it in the contract to say, you guys have to pay for my house or something. That's the best I can come up with. Do you think is that where your mind first went to, Josh?
Yeah,
that's the best I can come up with. Just over $10 million of Riley's total compensation was categorized as base, $100,000 bonus incentive compensation, and nearly $1.15 million as what the tax form calls other reportable compensation. Why is this a story? Great question, actually. I don't know, but I have a hunch. It's for people to dunk on Lincoln Riley. I think our boy at USC is possibly no longer in the minority. The wind is not blowing in a good direction for Lincoln Riley.
I don't think he's on the hot seat, but they're stoking the coals. They're getting the lighter fluid.
They did a request just to see, because USC doesn't have to report or whatever, and they're like, all right, well, let's see what we can find in here. And this just gets put out there with like no context. It's like, here's what Lincoln Riley makes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, interesting.
Just a reminder as we head into the football season.
Here's what Lincoln Riley makes.
What you're paying for. Mm-hmm. What are you getting?
Yeah, kind of interesting, right? Mm-hmm. Also at USC, so point blank, there's Lincoln Riley makes a lot of money, and doesn't seem like people around him are happy with it. The second thing is there's some chatter. I was doing some poking around, some USC circles.
Okay.
There's some chatter about USC wanting to get out of the Notre Dame series.
Charles has tipped us off to this as well in the past.
Is this true? What is wrong with people?
Cowardice.
It is. The USC Notre Dame series, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
The USC Notre Dame series.
One of the biggest rivalries in the sport, or one of the longest running rivalries in the sport.
And it's Notre Dame. Like, Notre Dame needs the games. They're an independent. But
ish.
I mean, Lincoln Riley is in the Big Ten now, and there are 100 teams in the Big Ten, and it's really hard to win games in the Big Ten. You have to play 9 games, and maybe you'll have to play a 10th, and they're like, this Notre Dame series really not for us anymore. This would be the straw that broke the camel's back as far as the getting out of non-conference games are concerned. I think we would have a full-on college football outrage if USC got out of their long-standing history tradition of playing Notre Dame.
The honks would be like, well, do
you think they would? Because I don't think they would. Like, I think this is where the media would step in and they'd say, okay, I've seen enough. Do you really think that they'd be like, oh, well, I get it.
Texas doesn't play Texas A&M anymore.
No, but they do.
They do now. Yeah, but, the rivalries are dying. It's just the way the sport is right now.
Do you think they would say that about this game in particular? I'm not sure. Because I think maybe this would be the straw that broke the camel's back. I think this might be the moment where everybody puts their foot down and they say, you guys suck. This is bad.
It's interesting because of the two teams involved. Because Feinbaum would get on the radio and go, he'd make fun of you. He'd be like, oh, you too scared to play Notre Dame? Notre Dame loses big games by 40 points routinely, and you're afraid to play them? Because, neither of them are an SEC team, so he's going to dunk on them. And then, not that Feinbaum controls the college football narrative, but he is a large voice. And
he is.
And I think the game day guys would be like, why? What has happened to our sport?
I hope they do. I hope USC backs out just to see. We could find out who the narcs are. We could really find out who the moles are in the college football, because nobody should like that.
I would agree.
Nobody should think that's good for the sport, literally at all. And so if you hear any sniff of anybody saying, well, why would USC need to play a game that's hard out of conference? Because what's the gain from it? That person's a narc.
So that
person's a narc.
That's another offshoot of it, right? If you're USC and you're going to get out of this game, you have to have a better reason than
we played too many good games already.
Yeah, we don't have to. We don't have to play Notre Dame, so we're not going to play Notre Dame. You cannot tell people that.
That would be the reason. That would be the reason, though.
It has to be, we can't afford to go out there, and they don't want to.
But like it happened with Nebraska and Tennessee, every reasonable person can see directly through it.
Yes, but you have to have a line prepared.
It's not because of the money. It's not because of the money. Everyone can see through it. Mm-hmm. Everyone can see that you just don't want to play this game because you don't want to play this game. And you think or whatever, it makes you more likely to go to the college football playoff or something like that. I sort of thought that it would, if everybody goes to 9 and we get the whole, scheduling alliance thing, and we get to the point where there's AQs, auto bids for the top 4 in the league. I kind of thought that would bring non-con games back, because then what the hell do they matter? Then you can play it like the RPI you do in baseball, where you want to challenge yourself out of conference.
Even if you lose, it's good for your strength of schedule.
It doesn't matter.
You make money.
Right. It's a big TV product, whatever it is. But it doesn't appear that we're trending that way quite yet. That's a little advanced for these pea-brain people.
Well, you're galaxy-brained right now.
So this is... I hope they do it. That's my official stance. I hope USC does it. I hope USC backs out of the Notre Dame game just so we can find out who the narcs are.
I'd like to see the blowback and the fallout of it, but I don't want that game to go away.
No, I don't either.
You'd have Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush on TV,
But I really want to find out who the narcs are.
It is important.
Be real, Nebraska fan. You and you could do this anonymously right now. If you are one of the people who said, "Oh, what does Nebraska have to gain by playing Tennessee?" If you were one of those people,
nothing.
That's fine.
For me.
That's fine. I'm not judging you right now. I am judging you globally, generally, but not judging you right now. You tell me the God honest truth. Would you not make fun of USC incessantly for backing out of that game? I would.
I think a lot of people would.
Yeah, you should be.
Regardless of what they said.
They should be shamed into oblivion for backing out of that historical rivalry. If it happens. And I want people to feel, I want to give people the license to be able to do that. But people, I got to be consistent. Well, what's the gain from it? You'll see. What's the gain? Speaking of our random voices that we do for this, Chance writes in.
Hi, Chance.
Josh's honk impression sounds a little bit like George Lucas. So does I'm just copying off of Josh at this point, but yeah. I don't know what George Lucas sounds like either, so.
Next year will be the 100th anniversary of the first Notre Dame USC game. Is USC going to go, well,
100 and out.
100's fine.
It's enough for me.
Stop it right there.
It's enough for me. Screw those green jerseys. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. From the text line, Alex and Lincoln.
Hi, Alex.
Alex, wow, calling out a lot of Husker fans. OMG, P-brain people. P-brain people in the Husker fan base. No, I'm not talking directly to you. I'm just saying, I just want to find out who the narcs are in the global college football. I'm over the Nebraska thing. I don't get it. I'll never get it. But I just want to find out who I'm talking about mostly the media. If you hear a media person is like, well, I kind of get it.
Is Pete Thamel
that guy's a narc?
Get out on Twitter and be like, no, this is good. Just like you will all thank me eventually for expanding the basketball tournament. All right, you knock.
Enough. Okay. Speaking of spending money, one more story for you, Josh.
Money.
Which SEC football program spent the most on Severance? Not
like
Apple TV.
Apple TV to watch Severance?
No. Fiscal year 2024. Take a guess.
Georgia?
Oh no, Josh.
Texas?
No. Not Texas.
Am I missing something obvious? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're missing something.
Alabama?
Obvious. No.
On Severance. Oh, okay. A&M. Yeah, they're still paying Jimbo Fisher.
Would you like to see a picture?
I would.
All right. Look at that. That's a screenshot.
Oh, that's a lot more.
You see how that, if you're watching along with us on YouTube, you see how that Texas A&M bar is a lot higher and it's in outer space compared to the other ones? About, 3 or 4 times as much as Auburn, who loves spending money on Severance?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Alabama. Almost nothing.
Yeah. Who have they fired? Texas A&M's Jimbo is spending a lot of money on Jimbo Fisher's contract. According to
Trev has to hate this.
Oh, yeah. Trev hates spending money, too.
Oh.
According to 15 financial reports obtained by AL.com via a series of open records requests, Texas A&M Athletics spent $27.5 million in that category during fiscal year 2020, July 1, 2023, June 30, 2024. According to ESPN, Fisher's contract stated he would receive $19 million within 60 days of his firing and will continue to be paid $7.2 million annually through 2031, a total cost of over $76 million. It was by far the most expensive firing in college football history, at least among publicly known numbers. And I would imagine that would hold true. The Aggies were one of two athletic departments to spend more than $10 million in that category, joining Auburn. The buyout spending came during a year where Texas A&M's athletics contributions fell from $115 million to $88.6 million in fiscal year 2024, and donations to its fundraising operation fell over $25 million year over year, according to a Sportico report. Sort of interesting. So Texas A&M is tightening it up, but they're going to have to.
That's just what you do with Trev Alberts as your AD. Platcat on YouTube. A&M paying coaches is like Connor at the gas station. Money is not real.
That's all right. Get whatever you want.
You got us. It's fine.
Pack of gum. What's that cost?
It's a quarter.
Probably $5. I have no idea.
Actually, gum is rather expensive.
Yeah, they tell me what the
gum, but you get 100 pieces.
They tell me what the total is. I don't listen to them. I just flash my card up there, and they're like, "Go ahead,
tap."
I'm like, great, yep, tap to pay. It's actually been a very bad thing for me.
Do you have rewards? No, I don't. Why are you talking to me?
Kyle writes in.
Hi, Kyle.
You guys, this is back to the USC thing. You guys are apologists for the school that cancels more games than anyone, or at least attempts to. I don't know if you guys should even have an opinion on the USC Notre Dame being canceled.
What?
No. I am anti-Nebraska canceling all of their games. Kyle, don't get it twisted here.
We called it cowardice from the jump.
Don't put me in with the narcs.
I want to see cool games.
Don't put me in with the narcs. I'm not a knock.
Not a knock.
I know it's something that a knock would say. I'm not a knock. I'm not a knock. I wish they would play Tennessee. I wish they would play hard games.
I'll pump some heroin right now. I'll show you I'm not a knock.
I love hard games. Okay. So don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't put that on me. All right, we're back with the polls. We'll tell you what to watch next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
I told producer Josh I desperately want to go home.
On 1620 The Zone.
Is your concrete cracked or uneven? Hey everyone, Coach Greg McDermott here to explain why you should choose EverLevel Concrete Repair. Many people think they need to replace broken concrete, but repairing it provides durable protection and comes at a fraction of the cost. EverLevel provides permanent repair solutions to fix your concrete and protect it against future damage, and it all comes with a long-term transferable warranty. They offer free inspections to walk you through the entire process. Call EverLevel Concrete Repair today.
All right, welcome back. We got the polls. We had a few during the crossover today, so let's look back.
Let's.
Have you ever spooned like this before? That's Wendy's
That's their
new
slogan.
slogan
That's
for
what they
getting
tell people.
different kinds of Frosties these days. And Gary says it's all DEI.
All Frosties matter.
I haven't. I've only had a vanilla or chocolate Frosty before.
I had the thin mint one. I was a little disappointed.
Okay, so I'll say no. Oh, whoa. I've just been sent pictures of John's mangled wrist again.
Oh, no.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh, he had a doctor's appointment today,
Yes,
didn't
he
he?
did.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
Getting better?
Well, they took the wrap off and they're putting the hard cast on, and I got to see the in-between.
I don't think I want to see that.
No, you don't. No, 75% say no. Is Dave Ramsey an idiot?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Maybe one of my favorite poll questions ever. 56% say yes. Only 56% though. Some people like him.
You nerds.
Does Nikola Jokic always look like he just got done rebuilding the transmission on a 1993 Ford F-150? Yeah.
Another poll you might hear at the end of the year.
79% say yes. Do you know about the Vetter Cup? I didn't.
Learned a lot about it today.
87% say no. And finally, do you want to hang out with a 6'8" guy?
I don't think I do. No offense.
No, sorry, Porco. 57% say no. Those are the polls, Josh. What are we watching tonight?
We're watching Game 6 at Madison Square Garden tonight. Celtics, Knicks, 7 o'clock on ESPN. Knicks lead 3-2. And we've just gotten word that Diddy will be allowed to watch the game.
That's right.
From prison.
That's right.
Good note, everyone.
Who's the Diddy reporter?
I don't know. What a horrible job.
Yeah.
Knicks, don't lose this game. No. You will not like what happens to you.
Not in their best interest. No.
And then we have Nuggets Thunder Game 7, 2:30 Sunday on ABC. Tonight is the opening day for the WNBA. The Los Angeles Sparks are at the Golden State Valkyries for the first game in franchise history there. 9 o'clock tonight on Ion. The Fighting Caitlin Clarks play tomorrow. They host Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky in the most forced rivalry in the history of sports. They're going to make this a thing. 2 o'clock tomorrow.
Hey,
on ABC.
Josh, I don't know if you know this. Is Angel Reese good?
I genuinely don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I know that she's black and Caitlin Clark is white.
There's that part.
So they must hate each other.
Yeah. All I ever see on the internet is people talking about how Angel Reese is actually not good.
I don't know enough about women's basketball to guess on the air.
Okay. All right. Placat, let us know.
NHL playoffs Game 6 in Florida tonight. Leafs Panthers 7 o'clock on TNT. Game 7 would be Sunday in Toronto. Winnipeg and Dallas tonight. Tomorrow night on ABC. Yeah, pull a flare on it. Put some stank on it.
Totally.
Stars lead that series 3-2. It is, of course, rivalry weekend in Major League Baseball, one of our favorite holidays each and every year. Rangers host the Astros tonight on Apple, Sunday morning on Roku. The Vetter Cup is on Apple TV tonight. Mariners Padres, of course. Why do I have to explain that to you? You know what the Vetter Cup is. Nats and Orioles, 3 o'clock tomorrow on FS1. Braves and Red Sox, 6 o'clock tomorrow on Big Fox. Sunday Night Baseball, of course. Mets and Yankees from Yankee Stadium. Nebraska in about an hour on Big Ten Plus. 1 o'clock tomorrow. Who knows, though, with the rains. Softball regionals going on this afternoon. Nebraska, UConn, 2 o'clock on ESPN Plus in Baton Rouge. And Omaha and Cal, 2:30 today on ESPN Plus out in Norman. And Connor, I know you love movies. I know you love long movies. So here's one for you.
Titanic?
No, even longer. HBO Max finally gets The Brutalist, a 3.5 hour long movie with a 15-minute intermission about an architect, Adrian Brody, who arrives in America to rebuild his life and work, where a prominent industrialist, Guy Pearce, a.k.a. the guy from Memento, recognizes his talent, but power and legacy come at a heavy cost.
I have never wanted to see this movie.
I watched it. It's very good, but it is 3.5 hours long.
Josh Peterson writes in, Josh, I can't wait to watch The Brutalist.
It's very good.
You can't wait?
I mean, he's going to have to. It's 3.5 hours. He could start the show, and it's almost as long as his show.
That's crazy. I could
think about that.
I could start it at the end of the crossover and not be done by the time they get off air.
That's right.
That's wild.
Incredible.
All right. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's what we're watching. That's the show. If you miss anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Oh, my. Auburn has just tied it up.
Oh, in the 8th.
Wow. They don't call it 7 innings for nothing, but they're in the 8th.
A pair of dongs in the 8th.
Crossover's coming up next.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.